welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love once again. Welcome back to Chats with Jack on this Talcott Tuesday, man. And I am fired up and inspired. I'm lit up with inspiration today. So, sincerely, my gratitude, my deep, sincere gratitude for all of you who are flexible, able, who the algorithm gods bring the notifications to when you're able to catch and join with me. Blessings to all of you. And for those who do tune in later, speed jack up so you can get to the point a little quicker. I get that too, man. I'm just filled with inspiration. Today, the topic, it's my favorite, let's face it. Let's discuss war and peace. And I'm going to open this up for conversations. I'm going to drop the link here real quick. Hopefully, because I've extended a number of invitations again. But the inspirations are many. Okay. So, brothers and sisters, I hope you can settle in and just enjoy the journey of words, right? Because I don't have a lot of graphics, although I'm going to share some things. And, let me do the thing that I usually do first. In the background of me is love, and in the background of the screen, together we rise. We live without fear. And Talcott Tuesday Truth Bomb. I love this quote. Our culture has accepted two huge lies. The first is that if you disagree with someone's lifestyle, you must fear or hate them. The second is that to love someone means you agree with everything they believe or do. Both are nonsense. You don't have to compromise convictions to be compassionate. Our world is so divided because people believe in lies. So, my words to start with, let's all invite and allow the divine faith, divine love, the divine peace of the Christic to flow through us as we get through some of these topics and conversations today. And beyond the online, but in your life, and for the rest of your day, and for the rest of your life, and for the rest of the world. Right? Today's topic, war and peace. That's what I'm all about. If you've been in tune with this Talcottian adventure even once or twice, you've heard me bringing up, hey, let's stop fighting and let's create a path to end wars because it's happening. We can be a part of it. So today we're going to jump into some topics. Should I open the link? Should I drop the link yet, or should I continue without interruption? Because in the description of the video today is a wonderful, let's get through this. Actually, that's a big part of this. This video, there's a link in the description. Well, you know what? I'm inspired by that. I plan to play some of that video. It's regarding how the United States is clearly enabling, supporting, creating the atrocities that are happening in Israel, in Gaza. I mean, right now, well, we're going to open the link up, and I know we have some fun online quite a bit, but ending wars is kind of some serious shit in my mind. But so that's what I want to do with our time together today is we're going to discuss some of the realities of the world, but from a different way, right? Because Jack's got a different way of seeing things, and that's what I'm kind of excited to talk about today too. Is the difference between knowing the difference between what is real and what is unreal. That's the path through life. All you got to do is know what is real, what is unreal, what is true, what is made up, what is fact, what is gossip. That's all you got to do. What is real versus what is unreal. It's just logical. And yeah, here's where I'm at, right? So today I reached another observation of me in my path as Jack. I reached a new level of detachment today. In other words, I've surrendered again to a deeper level. My life is unreal. So if my life is unreal, then I got to go to what is real. What is real is how I feel, how I spend my time. So, how I feel and how I spend my time, to me, it feels divine. I trust that God is caring for me and you and all of us. We're all on our different paths in life. We're all here to help make a better world for everyone, not just ourselves, not just the few that we were told to care about, but everyone involved. We're here to bring peace to the world like the past generations were unable to do. Pretty sure that's what God's plan is, but I can only guess, I can only assume. But I've lived a life, brothers and sisters, already. I've explained, I've lived many different lifetimes. I've played many different roles, many different characters. Alcoholic and soldier and dad and blah, 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 all those different things. So I'm not claiming myself to be wise, right? No guru, but I've learned some life lessons, man. Some things that help me feel better about being me and how to do a better job of caring about me. Not so much that I should, but that I can. You get to care about you. You get to care about everything, anything that you want. Here, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link and we're going to see where the day goes. Because, man, oh, I'm just so filled with love. I really am. Although, here, I reviewed myself and what was shared on the channel yesterday on the various platforms. And I was like, wow, Jack, wow, that's kind of unreal. The way that some people choose to behave. Um, but on a different note and a different day, welcome to
You
my.
know it's a different day, right?
Yes, brother.
Then why do you still say the same thing as day one?
It's different
Like
ways.
you try and convince me that we're friends and that you care about everybody. You haven't cared to listen to one thing I've ever told you. And you sit here and contradict it every day.
How do you know?
You're back to following your feels and you gotta love you and you're garbage.
I'm not
And
as
it's
bad
and
as you think.
you're free to be garbage. Look at Gen X Jeff. Look at Paul and Slave. You're all free to be garbage. I can't let you be free to spread your garbage to every open ear like Rusty Shackelford. That dude needs to just go back to church and forget that he ever thought you were a thing because he's feeding into your bullshit. You're
But
garbage, Jack. You're a
well,
lol cow, and you're not even a meme.
brother,
Go
all
fuck
I
yourself.
am, all
Don't
I,
call me your brother because you got 3 families that don't want you around to lead them. They were smart to leave,
what does
and you
that have
still
to
act
do
like you're
with
going to
you?
lead anybody.
What is that? Hold on, please. What does that have to do with you?
Nothing has. What does it have to do with you?
Here, bear with me. We got another
Here. No, I'm tired of your
James the
restance
Joe.
little deflection.
Well, someone
Here.
join.
No, here.
James?
Hello.
See how easy
Hello.
you are, Jack? He
Hello.
just picks a name and a picture. I actually like this son of him.
Hello.
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 How are you, James?
Hello. I'm good. How are you, Tommy?
Oh, if I could find anybody else to talk to today but Jack, I would be stupendous.
Wow.
Look at his confusion. He's focusing on his confusion.
Here, tell you what, let's change the
No,
topic.
here. Whenever you act like people you know are gonna flip it on you and expose you, you deflect with wowie. Holy cows, man! How is this my
Okay,
life?
so what is the resolve? What do I do from here?
End your YouTube bullshit and find God, and it's gonna take someone to help you. You are a case study in delusion.
Who will help me?
No, that's a hard question to answer, Jack. I doubt you can find many people with more patience or effort than you've denied from your YouTube community.
I've denied or I've offered?
That's what we can't figure out. One minute you're trying to lead us, the next minute you're mad we won't show you the way. And how many days have I said this?
Well, and it brought us to today. And today, the topic.
Oh, don't say like it's a happy resolve. You're giving me a fucking migraine.
Let's discuss peace. How may peace be found between
Jack,
you and
peace
me?
is not the goal. Peace
It is
is out
for
of your
me.
hands.
Well, with you,
You've had too many pieces of ass, and I'm
what
surprised at
would
that.
allow you and I to have peace?
That's us as individuals to worry about. If
That's
I
what
want
I'm
peace, I'll turn
asking.
this device off.
I'd
If I
like
want peace, I'll walk over to where the Venezuelan gangs have taken over a building and I'll just sit there and it'll be better than dealing with you. They might only torture me.
Hey, that stuff sounds unreal. I mean, it's just so crazy.
That's
But
denial.
listen,
That's your deflection. That's
no,
you
that's what I
thinking the
mean.
government that allows them in and allows them to do that is going to hear you out.
Please don't blame me for what others are doing. Okay?
You are deflecting and ignoring what I just said. Can you
No.
understand English?
Yes, what I'm trying
Then
to
what did
get
I
you
just
to
say?
consider,
Because I didn't blame you for Venezuelan gang.
what I was trying to get you to
No,
the
I'm
point
asking
is
you to tell me
real.
what I just said because you said you understand what I just said. Tell me.
Something about promoting the importation and something I heard it pointed at the border and immigration stuff.
I said you said it seems unreal that various cities have Venezuelan gangs just running free like GTA. You said it seems unreal, man. No, it was allowed and initiated by the government you believe would actually want to end wars or hear you out to end wars. Now tell me that you know something we can learn from you.
So you've got kind of a defeatist mindset.
Deflection. I've said a million times Christians are not defeatist.
Tell you what,
but you don't have to be Christian to know this government is allowing things.
Tom, I've got another one who likes to accuse me and interrupt me in the back.
I haven't accused you of anything except your own ignorance.
I haven't been able to say anything.
I've asked you questions and let you answer. You're playing that card.
Tommy, should I bring up snafu?
I'm not running your show,
Yes.
and snafu coming up, having a back and forth can only be
Stop
detrimental to
it.
you both.
The show. Stop
Actually, I
it.
agree with everything Tommy said today, Jack.
Oh,
You know,
don't
losing
say that.
family. But you know, the
I'll
one thing
take
Jack
your
said,
life
who would
one
help
day,
me?
snafu.
Who will help? I'm here, Jack. If you need the help, I've been trying to help your rapist ass
You need
this whole
help.
time. No, Jack needs help. And I'm
Yeah,
me,
and
I'm
how
here to
come
help.
you can't give me this back and forth on my pan?
Well, Tommy, I agree with you today. Everything you said
That's
is
the worst
actually
thing you can
overtargeted.
say. I asked you a question like Jack missed his question. How can
Jack,
you
why are
not
you
come up
deflecting
on
this
my
Tommy thing?
panel?
Why are you
There we
pulling
go.
up this when we're talking about you and your issue?
The tail wagging the dog, which is nonsense. That's completely ridiculous. They do not understand the geopolitics of the situation. And in fact,
So where we're jumping into this video is linked in the description of my live stream today. And here, I'm going to drop it again. And welcome a more respectful guest. Welcome back, Hank. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. So, did you see my super chat?
I did. I did not offer much to it, did I? Maybe talk to the Venezuelans.
Yeah, if that's the case and they have an in, then maybe they'll have the most leverage for you.
That's an interesting. See, Hank, that's what I love about you. You do bring a different perspective. You pay attention to what's being offered, and then you seek. I get it. I don't buy into the idea that they're working for some perfectly laid out plan from the government. This is not. Ooh, actually, though, it does remind me of an inspiration I had earlier. This world we live in, some of the. I'm gonna. Oops, keyboard's coming through. I'm gonna pause that.
Hello, brother Hank.
Here, the what works on the micro works on the macro. Okay, what works for one, it works for the greater. It's the way the truth works. So, in order to have more control in the exterior, in the outside, there must be control from within. Okay, now the rulers know that. They've been controlling the masses, so the masses are fighting for governments and corporations. They're fighting for their jobs. They're fighting for their lives. They're
Yes.
fighting. So
Yes.
so those who have had power in the past learned that to get more control outside, they've got to control within. So as long as we allow the governments and corporations to control us as the masses, well, then the governments and corporations are going to continue battling in other nations, fighting them for their resources, their labor, so they can be free like us. This world is evil and corrupted. And if we look at the news today, right? This guy, I think his name is Ben Horton. His channel is what was his channel? Geopolitical Economy Report. This young man is a very brilliant man who's paying attention, and he's reporting on some of the current news from yesterday. Israeli Air Force official: without U.S. aid, Israel couldn't fight Gaza beyond a few months. We're coming up on a year.
Exactly.
So I'd really love to have serious conversations instead of this make believe and egoic nonsense.
Why did you misinterpret my words? And while I was backstage, you said something I didn't say. Is it because you can't understand English?
Maybe.
You
What
said
was
that
the
I came up here
Venezuelan
and
thing about,
portrayed
though?
that there's a secret government that planned, that is whatever you said about the Venezuelans. It's not what I said.
You were blaming me for what for what you see the
No,
government.
I was blaming you for your
is.
ignorance.
Well, please stop blaming me.
But
And
I'm
here,
correct.
Tom,
And you can't
here,
even seem to
hold
understand
on,
what I said. And because you were
Tom,
deflecting, you dropped
Tom,
snafu in, acting like I give you the okay to do or not do that.
please pause.
Now,
What
I can
the
read you
topic
like
is, holy cows. Pause.
It's not.
Calm down, Tommy.
He doesn't remember that I could just talk over him like he talks over everyone else.
You got to
come on,
remember,
man.
we need Venezuelans and Guatemalans and stuff to mow our lawns and do
No,
lawn
here,
care.
please stop. I heard
Okay.
you ask, and I'm guessing I don't know the full details either, but there's reports of these gangs who have come from Venezuela who are with armed force taking over residential areas, and
Oh, I didn't hear that. I thought they were just like
it's
in lawn care.
no,
Okay. Here's
this,
here's another group that you may want to talk to. Those so-called Chinese spies. Those so-called Chinese spies. You may want to talk to those people too.
well, this idea of wars, it's clearly not the solution. It brings destruction. That's its only guarantee.
war
Pain
is
and
not
destruction.
it's a result of a thing. This is what
Right.
you can't
And
even
the
grasp.
thing is,
You're gonna be like, where's my
disagreement,
autist that gave me $2 to agree with me?
Tom.
Don't
Come on.
start
We
your
don't
typical loop, Jack. You got people in the comments or in your chat asking me
stop.
how to end wars. I've consistently came up here and denied that goal.
Right. You don't think it's possible. You think
It's
your
not.
thoughts are more real than what is real. This is something I was kind of skating around, where I'm getting into the ideas of war and peace. Seriously, the wars we face, the conflicts, they're all from our minds. Every single one of them. The heart, when the heart surrenders, there's no battles. And when you realize that there is a difference, all we have to do is discern between what is real and what is unreal. And I'm a testimony of a man who's alive today where I'm convinced my life is unreal. So if my life is unreal, then I need to turn away from the real, what used to be important, and start learning more about what the unreal is. And the unreal is God. Turn to the God that allows the real to become real or unreal. It's a game.
Yes. So I'll play devil's advocate. Well, Tommy says we cannot end wars, but he doesn't offer to at least win all the wars so we could just stop fighting. That's just odd. So not only does he say we can't end wars, but he doesn't even propose that we could just win all the wars so we can stop fighting. So that's just weird. He's just being oppositional to fight rather than just he's not consistent. So
what we're facing, Hank, in my opinion, is we're facing his Christian belief. We're questioning his faith in what he's been taught and what he's learned. What I'm pointing at is you wait for God. You fight and survive until Jesus comes and wins all the battles. I might be misquoting him, but I'm going to bring him up. And did I miss?
Every day. And you even encourage Hank in his both autism and blackness to do the same thing you do.
Okay, well, what I said is that I think I'm challenging your beliefs that you have.
No, that's not what you're doing every day is what you project. And to show it, we all know Steven, and look at him. He doesn't know what to do with this. He can only sit back and just let it happen.
That's actually the best way to live, to be honest.
No, it's not. That's what wars come from.
Hello. Wars
No, you're
come
not going to run this daisy game on me. You got
On my
nothing on me,
screen.
Jack. We're doing the same thing we've done since I separated you from your daddy.
Only you can change you. Please do.
I don't need to change.
Well,
I represent what I'm happy to have become when I deny your delusional cult leadership.
but you
And I
don't
got to give you credit,
very
Jack. You've grown
Tommy.
into a possible cult leader where you used to just
Tommy.
be a member.
Tommy.
I disagree. He's not good at reading.
It doesn't matter, Hank. You're irrelevant.
Tommy.
Yeah, thank Hank.
He's a part of this experience.
I
No
know,
one
and
is
it's a
irrelevant.
stupid experience.
The experience is now. Chill
Right.
out.
And just like the experience in the now that you don't have one family, and the now you're going to lead as you can't lead three families.
Tom.
You need to face your now, because you just said what is real is not real, and you need to know what's real and what not real, and God is not real, and your life is not real, so that makes it real. Clip it.
Tell you what, I'm going to ask you, please cam up. Tom.
Why, are you a
I
faggot?
feel like you're hiding behind your avatar.
I feel like you don't understand words.
I don't feel like
there. Now kiss. There's your piece. I'm hiding
Come
behind
on
my
now.
face.
Tom, you're being inauthentic. You're being
The fuck I am! Does it sound fucking authentic?
No! Not at all.
Shut up, nigger!
Hey.
Being
No.
authentic, and those are the two things he said. I was being authentic, and then he said STFF, STF, you enter. So, like, it's either to be taken as like a goodbye, at least, like a quick sorry.
Yeah, a Denver goodbye, I guess.
Stupid.
Here's what it is. Tommy got triggered. His emotions got the better of him.
Yes, he got triggered.
Like I said, I'm challenging people's beliefs every day. I know that I am. And I can't help people accept what they've chosen to reject. And that's me. I mean, Tommy is an example of many, many others in my life that I could help. But
or like, not even that you have to help them, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to go against you. I'm just saying, like, he has to have manners or something. He has to have, like, a certain amount of manners.
Humility. See, that's
Like,
what
bro,
has been
what was the
lacking.
Yeah.
What's that?
I should, sorry. You were right.
Humility. I've realized that for a long time. That's what the American government is lacking. Because only the humble will be honest. The prideful want to argue.
Come on, guys. Are you trying to run some 5D chess gaslight? How many years has it been that I can shout shut up N-word and you guys say I'm triggered? Please, guys. Show me you're not this dense. I'm not talking to you, Jack. I'm asking your panel. Please tell me you're not
you
this
are being
basic after
completely
all this time.
authentic, and then you said what you said. That set everything
Oh, Brown's
off.
boy, did Gen X Jeff get offline, or did you
Dude, I just have a memory. I'm sorry, I'm out.
What?
I have
See,
a
guys,
memory.
that's the one that talks while people are talking. I didn't even hear what he said.
Yeah, move on for me, please.
Well, why do you keep jumping at me?
He said he was backing out. He offered the observation.
Oh, that's a new one. Thanks, Browns. I've never seen that before.
Well,
Yes,
some of
you
us out here think, Tommy, maybe you should give it a try. Thank you, and I'm sorry.
Gaslight.
I'm sorry, Jack,
Gaslight.
to interrupt you, but for saying that.
No, Hey,
Browns
respect.
boy, I'm going to ask you something people used to ask me. Do you ever go back and watch yourself on panels?
Tommy, please.
Do you disagree with that, Jack?
Well,
Do you ever go back and watch your own show, Jack?
He does.
every day.
I know. See, there's classic Hank. Always
Tom,
answering for the
why
host.
does that trigger you?
No, it shows that he's doing what he does. Why does it trigger you for me to call people out on what they do every day?
What a surprise! I do what I do. Wow.
And
Right,
Tom,
That's my shock.
that's not honorable. Pedos do what they do. Snafu does what he
What
does.
you're
What's so commendable about it?
But Tom, what you're doing is you're showing your want to control. You're not going to control.
Oh, no. I want you to understand what you're doing.
I want you to understand what you're doing
Deflection.
is what you're doing.
How can you help me understand what I'm doing when you don't see what you're doing?
Can you just trust that I'm being honest?
I don't need to trust you because I have truth. And I
That's the
think you are
problem.
being honest. I think you're being honest for a person with the memory of a goldfish.
But
No, that's my
not
say.
true.
Truth is just a feeling.
Hank, I'm not going to regard you or Brown's boy anymore. Can we stick to that?
You never did.
Yeah, I did. And I thought you were on the up and up until I realized you're going to go with whoever grants you the cam time.
Here, bear with me. I do want to communicate with you. Okay? I wasn't deflecting. I'm trying to be honest with you. Okay? You distrust, and I don't know why. I mean, you've given reasons why you distrust
I know
me
you love me,
and
Jack.
others. But Tom, I'm not trying to hurt you
I know
by
you love me, Jack. I know.
crap.
I know.
Wrong one. Holy cows.
You see, I was confused too. I was like, does he? Because you know why I was confused, Jack? Because you are common for putting me in the back where I can't respond and talking to me. I didn't think you were fucking up.
See,
I was like,
I'm
okay,
unreal,
Steven's his
dude.
boy for the day.
Dude, I am unreal. I'm sorry.
You are. Now
I know.
think about you trying to tell me I'm confused or have a problem.
I'm just trying to get you to consider it. That
Jack,
I'm not as
we
bad
have
as you
shown
think.
you day after day, we can repeat what you say and you tell us we're not listening.
So
The
you
only
say,
way you're bringing people together is we all agree you got problems. And the
I
only thing we can't discern is who's really offering you assistance and who's just fucking with you.
I know, that's the confusing part. That's the part I've been trying to figure out too.
But when I say it, you go against me until right now. And that's why you offend me so often. You don't trigger my ego. That implies that you're superior. You've been a
No,
joke since the cult.
I
You're
can't-
still a joke now. You're just
Tom,
an independent joke.
Why can't it just be a fact? It's not egoic.
That you're a joke?
No, that your ego getting triggered, man.
No, I'm triggered because of the tactics you use to manipulate my words to
Stop
deflect from what I'm trying to
accusing
say.
me. Stop
What?
accusing me. We'll get along
Jack,
better.
we just watched it happen.
All right, what do we do from here then?
I'm leaving.
All right.
You're giving me
I
a
love
headache because you're going to sit here and these people that support you because they don't like me, they're all the same. Like
Well,
half of these people right now that are on the panel and in the chat,
hello.
it just came from Gen X Jeff, the Gason.
When you realize you're not as different as everyone you complain about, you'll be able to get along
I
with
am
people.
different. It's the insult they use that I wear proudly. I'm
Well,
different because I'm set apart like other believers in Jesus Christ.
You could become more humble easily.
I am humble. You
I
have no
don't see it.
position to humble me.
I just
Do you
see
think
what
the
I
panel verse
experience.
is where I'm humble? Or do you think me having a
I
crazy
don't
lady grab
care.
my... You're interrupting me! Do you think you're some helper of people when you say I need your help and you won't hear me out? Or am I the one that's not humble?
Gosh,
When
holy cow.
Hank laughed at me calling him an N-word, you thought I was being
Tommy,
racist? I can't get that dude out of my email.
There's no satisfying you and your ego.
What are you talking about?
You're listen to yourself.
Elaborate. No. You said a thing, now elaborate. Hey, Steven, at least his boner's gone. He's not asking me to cam up.
I kind of wish you would, so that we
I know you're a faggot.
face to face. Thank you for
Listen, Jack, the battlefield you want has nothing to do with looking at each other, because you're not going to shook me. That's why I tell people to cam up. I want Polly Boy, your daddy. I want your daddy to look me in the eyes and say that Snafu's right, I'm a pedo.
How about this? Go ahead, Hank.
Yes.
No, I told him I'm not regarding his.
No, you're not Hank. I'm Hank.
Yeah.
So what's wrong with being a
You're
faggot,
triggered, Hank. I mean,
Michael,
I said tough. I said
yes.
tough, Hank. You're triggered.
Listen to me. My question is, what is wrong with being a faggot, Tommy?
He sounds niggered.
This answers the question. What's wrong with
I said triggered.
Okay.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know what's wrong.
I think he was calling you a
I do know what's wrong. We've already had that discussion.
Let's redirect and change.
You didn't drop me out, Hank, or Jack.
I didn't drop anyone.
Oh, you.
So
okay. Then a smart person left.
I'm trying to understand what I might be able to do from here, because the purpose, I don't want to war with you. Who are you fighting?
Oh, you got it.
Okay,
you got it, boy.
You're fighting me. Who are you fighting for?
Me, because this is a personal thing.
Well,
my help is on the level that you talk about, when I can show you where you can just drop it and where you can be effective. But you and you've wanted this war. You ask for it every day.
No.
When you asked me for permission to drop Snafu in, you want this war.
No, untrue.
Show me tell me how I'm wrong.
Well, I don't
tell me how you care about me and how we're such good friends whenever I don't trust myself to come visit you.
Well, that's where I can help you, but only I can help you.
You can't help me not beat your ass.
Your trust. I'm telling you.
I don't need trust. Oh, he thinks he's got me, guys. He thinks he's got me.
No,
we're just looping the same old. This is boring to me, and you think you got me.
If you would listen, I just got a theory.
Oh, Jack's got a theory.
If you can learn to trust, if you can convince yourself,
I don't need trust.
If you can convince yourself to trust me,
I'd be as delusional as you.
Just for, like, I don't know, a short period, a day, an hour.
Jack, I gave you the better part of your unslaved battle.
That was a long time ago, and that's what I mean.
I know it was a long time. Not a long time ago. It was a long time.
Tom, honestly, you never really offered me a lot of trust, but you
Here we go.
The trust was broken. There's no denying.
Yeah, you broke that trust. I trusted you. Oh, here's that sand N-word. Says he's got me in high. There's nothing.
He
the
does.
Machine truly lies.
He does got you.
Tom, we don't need to renew or restart old battles. Okay?
That's not old. That was the last time both of us were here.
Okay, well, let's be peace.
You facilitated that, Jack. You used him as your suicide bomber.
Well, it's now.
And that's exactly what he did, man.
Can we bring ourselves to the forward?
Basically, what you're saying, philosophy of
Actually, you know what? Now that there's more people, I wonder if we should play a few minutes of this so that I can
God,
get
no.
opinions.
I don't like these guys. They're going to vote not to watch this.
So I can get some opinions beyond just my own. Because
why don't you trust yours?
No,
That's the smartest thing you've said all day.
I'd love to talk to this guy. He seems
Moose,
very
what took you so long? Brown's boy beat you here. Is Gen X Jeff offline?
okay. So, is there anything else that's pressing before I do this?
Jack, I don't have to trust these guys because I know the
fact,
truth
that's a
of what they
convenient
were up to
excuse
before they
trying
came
to justify the U.S. government's policy. They claim the U.S. government has no option. Israel controls the U.S. government. It's the Israel lobby. No, that's an excuse. That's an excuse that U.S. officials use to justify their complicity in crimes against humanity. Joe Biden.
Yes. These people in government are using excuses to continue their complacency in crimes against humanity. This man is speaking the truth, in my opinion. I realize we're just jumping in here.
Is
And
that a
he
young
says,
Jack?
oh, Benjamin Netanyahu doesn't listen to us. No, if Joe
Why would I
Biden
trust
actually
the
wanted
guy
to end these
that's deflecting everybody that's contributing to his panel? Hey, now that you got a full panel, let's watch a video.
Please watch.
Tommy, that's you. That's you, Tommy.
No,
Tommy.
I have playthings for people to talk about. That's not what's going to happen, Hank.
If you would, you could allow that to happen if we watch.
You could
the
allow
video
us
together.
to help you.
If we watch,
Your description of yourself, Tommy, made you sound like a kindergarten teacher, by the way.
That's
If
all you
if you
guys
actually replay
deflect
it.
with. Tell me about myself, Browns boy. I'll tell you more about you.
I'm wondering maybe it would be.
Are
better
you
if-
reduced to sharing?
Yeah. I think the energy just raised just by that. No offense. I mean, Tommy, when he learns how to play well with others, especially me, and that's what he can learn from me, he can learn how to play well with others, honestly and fairly. It's what life is about.
these crimes against humanity, he could end them overnight. He could say the U.S. wanted to, Benjamin Netanyahu doesn't listen to us. No, if Joe Biden actually wanted to end these crimes against humanity, he could end them overnight. He could say the U.S. is no longer going to sell weapons to Israel. The U.S. is no longer going to give $3.8 billion of military aid every year to Israel. Biden could say the U.S. is no longer going to veto Security Council resolutions on behalf of Israel, which would mean
Yes, the U.S. has been vetoing efforts to find resolutions, external influence. The United States has been perpetuating the conflicts in Gaza, and that's just one example. It's just one example, but it's the most obvious. So,
mean that Israel would actually be held accountable under international law. But no, instead, the Biden administration has repeatedly vetoed Security Council resolutions that call for peace and a ceasefire in Gaza because the U.S. is actually pulling the strings here. And anyone saying that it's the Israel lobby or whatever, Israel's the tail wagging the dog, they are excusing the U.S. empire for its crimes against humanity. They're giving Biden an excuse. They are giving war criminal Joe Biden the excuse that he wants, so he can blame Netanyahu and say that it's all Netanyahu's fault, ignoring the fact that this is completely bipartisan in the United States because imperialism is bipartisan, like the invasion of Iraq was bipartisan, like the US-led NATO destruction of Libya in 2011 was bipartisan, like the war on Syria was bipartisan, and the war in Afghanistan was bipartisan, and the war in Vietnam, and the war in Korea, and the war in Yugoslavia, and the invasion of Panama. The list goes on and on and on. The U.S. does not.
do we get it? How long is it going to continue?
I don't know. I'm not on that committee.
Yeah, and it's even more amazing, Brother Jack. I just heard a news story today, and they said that they were actually calling a ceasefire for a time period so that they could vaccinate the children of Gaza. So it's amazing. They can have a ceasefire so that they could give medications to people who are then going to die from a war. Right? It's almost comical.
Geez.
It's almost it's almost like the stupidest move of all. It's like, why would you waste resources to go and give people medication that while causing a ceasefire? There must be something in those medications that is not going to save those people's lives. I mean, that's the only reason I could come up with that somebody might be trying to pull that move. You know, that why would you help people that then, you know, you're calling a ceasefire who are going to die in a deadly war? It's just, you know, it's beyond comical. You know, it's like I'm hearing this news story and I'm like, wait, so they could call a ceasefire for a war to give medications, but then they got to go to war. It's like, it's incredible. You know,
It's unbelievable. And yet, this is the reality of this time in history. And here's the other perspective, I guess, right? My path has brought me into trying to figure out what is real, what is unreal. God is real. Each and every day, more often than not, I encourage everyone who tunes in, go to God often throughout your day. Even if you don't have a clear understanding of what God is, understand that there is a greater power. There is a God that's with us, through us, for us. I mean, we're all participating in his story, the story of creation, the story of life. It's us.
So I want to respond to the machine lies first, then to you. So, yeah, it is weird that they can stop a war to deliver medication. Why not just stop the war and just end the war via the medication and stop wasting money on the heavy equipment? Unless it's just a slush fund. It's designed to move money around. It doesn't matter if the equipment's not there to win the war. It's there to move money around. So it's a bait and switch. And Jack, I hear what you're saying, but there's other people who claim to talk to the same God you do and get a different output out of it. So, what's going on?
I need a slush fund.
The only thing I can know is right now. It's the only thing any of us can know is right now. And the past prepared us for now, brought us to where we are today. And what we do from now on truly matters. If we realize that simple fact that what we do throughout each moment of the day, it actually matters, life matters, then things that were important in the past may soon fade away, and you realize, maybe things aren't as real as I thought. So life it's an experience. You know, what's an experience? But
I got one to prove it real quick. You know how, like, in your car, it says images in your mirror may be bigger than they're closer than they appear. That's just one that I got. One. That's it. Example. Everyday life.
well, think about, I mean, just in your own development or what you know of human development. Children believe and are taught to believe in many different things, you know, and then things turned out to be, whoa, I guess that wasn't as real as I thought. That's part of my testimony of this life experience that's happening with me. I used to believe in the money system. I used to believe in the American dream. I used to believe I would call myself a capitalist. I used to call myself a conservative and even a Republican for just a short period on that part. But then I discovered unions and the cause of labor, and I started understanding more about how much oppression has actually held back the growth, happiness, prosperity, and development of humanity here in America. And then my eyes opened to, holy cows, man, people alive today have it far worse off than I've got it, as far as access to water, access to food, education, information, entertainment. There's a world of suffering. There's a world of
Hell realm.
prosperity.
Hell realm.
Yes.
Jack,
so,
would you say that we should end capitalism? Do you think that's part of the solution to end this system, the economic system?
Yes.
Okay.
So here's another point. Belief isn't sufficient to make things in the intersubjective disappear. So we need more than just believing it away. We can't poop some things away just by your belief. If it's just in your pure subjectivity, you may be able to do it. But once it hits intersubjective, it can't believe things away by yourself. You gotta do it in mass.
Your sign's confusing me,
Well,
Hank. Peekaboo atheism. Is that a monkey or chimp? What's the sign about?
You know what the sign means? It's see no evil. You know what it is. It's a see no evil.
But there is
Okay.
evil.
Well, yes, and that's our opportunity to overcome it. That's why we're here. I trust. I trust that's why we are here, is to follow the way of Christ, to end our own, sacrifice our old ways, the worldly ways, renew ourselves with a commitment to the truth, to love, to honor, and then helping lead others from their own self-destruction. Every one of us, I don't know everyone's story, but I know enough stories to know we've all overcome things. We've all suffered things. We've all made it through things. And some of it, we did it alone. But if we really look, we had support, from either people or things or mysteries.
I would say I don't know if I'm right. I'll take it if I'm wrong, but I think everybody has support. I could be wrong, but that's a very important point.
Until it's denied, support is there. But where to look for support and what support at what time, well, that's the confusing part of the game. How do you know what you need? How do you know what you want? What if it changes? What if things change? What if you change?
Here's an example.
What if?
We already
I'm
know
not
as
John
humanity
Malkovich.
that when you get what you want, you'll want something else, and you have yet to even be on that page.
I want for nothing. I have everything to share.
Really? You
Really?
want nothing, Jack. You're sitting here day after day asking us to assist you in the nothing you want. And then Machine Lies wants credibility to back you daily.
Dude, I just imagine
You're
Tommy
all a
working at
fucking joke.
Blockbuster, like behind the counter, like trying to help you find a movie. Oh my god, dude.
You are all except Steven literally a fucking joke, because at least he knows what he's doing.
Tommy, what if there's a different way of seeing that? Okay.
And I'm trying to show you
That's
that,
too
Jack.
easy.
And I heard what you said.
No, you heard it, but you're not listening. Or you wouldn't have your problems and your issues.
What I heard is that you're asking for
All right,
help.
can I cover one laughing
Nothing to
idiot?
offer.
Listen, Jack, there's a channel that has attempted to find resolutions and they're still failing at it. It's called Gen X Jeff. And he is known for hearing me out about Brown's Boy, putting me in the back and bringing Brown's Boy up. And when he brings Brown's Boy up and says, okay, and what do you have to say to that? And he's like, hey, how's it going? I know what Tommy just said for y'all's beef. Like, what do you have? Oh, no. What did he say? Like, he's brain rot and doesn't even know it.
I've noticed those patterns myself.
And have you noticed your patterns? This fair weather Muslims patterns, this autistic niggas patterns. At least Stephen is aware of the patterns. That's how we cook so well sometimes.
Tommy, I gotta say, you're not a real Christian.
Right.
Thank you.
And I've defended that no one's a fake
buddy.
Muslim.
Sorry, buddy. There's no way you can prove to anybody or anybody worth a grain of fucking salt that you're a Christian.
No,
He's a
there's
bad
no way you can prove I'm a fake Christian.
Tom,
No,
you're a
no, I
bad
already have.
representation of
We'll
a
go over the points again. We'll just go down.
Right, you said you have
No
this
church,
ultimate Jack
no
Talcott.
education,
I'm sorry, I'm
no
gonna let this autism
prophets.
finish.
Yeah, you're not a member of any church body. You
That's
don't have
not what a Christian.
you don't have an education in
That's
anthropology
not correct.
or history.
You're
and
just saying
you're not a
things,
prophet.
Hank. This
You're not
community
a
has taught
prophet
you well.
of any deity. So
I am, and you don't care to listen or retain what you've been told.
All
I'm
right.
talking to this Muslim.
Oh, you changed your story
Please
now.
convince
Excellent.
me.
I didn't
Are
change
you
my
a-
story. I've been consistent.
Oh,
Tom.
we'll clip this.
Now, may I reply to the machine lies respectfully?
Please do.
So elaborate, machine lies, because you said you're the premier expert on the KJV and you didn't know Goliath's measurements were listed in there.
Holy cows. Tom,
Why is that so holy cows?
Are you call yourself a Christian? Right?
I am a Christian.
Okay, well, can you convince me? Because I think you're confused.
I can't
Either-
convince you that you need help. Why? And why? I'm
Well,
trying to reply to
I'm
this
convinced you're
guy.
a fake Christian. That's what I'm
You
convinced
said it.
of. I'm
And
convinced
now,
that you're
now,
a
like
fake-
I'll say the same thing I was trying to get out of machine lies before you interrupted as the resolution guy. Elaborate and allow me to retort.
Would you please, brother?
I'm asking you to elaborate on your accusation.
The machine lies.
No, both of
Yes,
you. You both said I'm a fake Christian.
No, I was
Yes,
thinking-
Elaborate.
Please.
Yes, you claim to be a Christian.
One at a
there,
time, please.
But you've actually lied, and actually I called you out on your lie, and you actually lied again and said it didn't happen. So
No,
so
you are not
so I have the clip.
interpreting. No,
I have the
you're
clip that
doing what you
produces-
guys did.
So it's
You're
okay if
starting
you
to do what you
comment.
did.
It's okay if you
Please.
actually go ahead and confess for your sin. That would be very
Is it
Christian. If you
okay
say-
if I reply to your first half?
Oh
Please.
yeah.
Silence mean yes?
Please.
Okay, you said, as you and Jack ganged up and wouldn't let me talk, you said you have this epic clip of something I said about Jack on Hoax War that's gonna get me, boy, and you haven't played it yet, and until I see it, I don't want to go any further.
That's a
Okay.
deflection.
No, it's a we don't move forward till this is confirmed.
Right.
Okay.
Of course, and I agree with that.
Now, did you hear what I
once
said about
we-
this clip before
So
I
once
see
we
it?
play, so once we bring the clip forward, then you'll have to either confess that you lied. Well, I have
No,
the
you're
clip.
doing the
I
Jack
know-
thing. Allow
know
me
that
to
you've
hold
lied.
up on
I
that.
already know. I already actually know that you
Allow me to hold your role, sir.
Please.
Number
what
one,
did you say?
Number one, this clip is very doubtful to trump anything I've said to this dude's face day after day. Number two, you're notorious for cutting me off at I washed dishes at a restaurant and you ran with it for your whole show. So you don't have anything that stands on, ooh, machine lies coming at me. Like all you do is turn your enemies into just some guy that
Okay,
makes videos
so,
about them.
Now what?
And whenever I backed you up when you're in the right
Tom.
machine lies, you said I was making it about me.
Now what?
I'm waiting to see the clip.
Okay.
But before,
So-
we don't have to bring it up. He can still go further into what makes me a fake Christian. A lie is not going to do it.
A lie is not okay. You think Christians lie?
I think Christians are the reason we can confirm hypocrisy. Try to have
That was
hypocrisy.
an interesting
Try
move,
to have a
Tom.
lie.
That
I'm
was an
not
interesting
done.
move. No, but that was an interesting
What are
move.
you
tried to
laughing
say it doesn't matter even if you did lie, it doesn't matter because you're still. A
Oh, it
Christian.
matters. That's not what I said.
sly
I don't
move.
think any of you can
That was
understand
a sly
anything.
move, Tom. We're not going with that one. That's a sly one, though. Nice
What
try.
was the move? Because you're misinterpreting what I said and not letting me go. And you just laugh like a Jack Talcott. Isn't that funny how you and Jack just laugh everything off instead of letting people explain?
Yeah, you're
Right,
fucking
right.
annoying.
You know, yeah, me and Jack Talcott are similar in every single way. Sure.
I didn't say every single way. Are you lying?
Sure.
Are you lying, Muhammad?
Why? Hey, Tom.
Muhammad's in the KJV, you know.
I'd like you to understand. Okay, I can't speak.
You have yet to let me help you understand what you're accusing me of.
No, in this moment of this conversation.
In this moment, you're not letting me be in the now, even with what Machine Lies is trying to go on.
You just interrupted me to do.
No,
what you
that's
said I was
you.
doing.
I'm still on my reply.
Holy cows! Are you
You got-
sure?
you got
Holy
nothing.
cows, there ain't nothing holy about your cows, and none of them want to see you after you've procreated with them.
What
You
if
got
the
nothing,
rest
Tom.
of us moved
They're
on?
holy
from
in
that?
India.
You got nothing,
Right,
Tom. And
right,
now,
and
and now
Indians
Sanity
aren't Christian
Machine.
unless they
You
are.
got nothing,
They're
and now
holy.
Sanity Machine is your daddy. That's how it
Holy
goes.
cow.
No, I call no man daddy. Even though you
Nope,
say I'm a fake
nope.
Christian, I
I'm your
call no
daddy,
man daddy.
Muhammad. I'm Muhammad's daddy.
Whoops.
I think you
No,
are.
no, you're not. No, you're not my daddy.
I'm
No, he
Muhammad's
just fucked
daddy.
your mom.
No,
Tom.
no. You're a fat fucking moron, slave.
I'm not
Well,
fat. I'm skinny. And I'm
not
saying he's your daddy because he's your stepdad.
So Stephen, but
No,
here,
no,
tell
no.
you
You
what,
got a
let's
fat,
not-
stupid bitch and some guy who worked
hey,
at a gay bar.
And a good friend of yours, right, TML?
what do I
You got
need
some
to
guy who
do?
made up his own religion and some guy who worked at a gay bar.
Muhammad delivers my groceries.
Hold on,
Go ahead,
hold on.
Jack. Sorry. Go ahead.
please. Thank you.
Yeah, you need more groceries, don't you, fat boy?
Stop, please. I'm going to ask you to rise above too, my brother.
I'm not
Okay?
fat, ugly,
For
cross-eyed.
sure, for
Go
sure.
ahead,
No,
Jack.
no. I got you. I got
Go
where
ahead.
you're going with this, brother Jack. I got you.
Cross-eyed. Go ahead,
Thank
Jack.
Thank you. Damn it. There was something with Tom. Oh, back to the false Christian. What Tom kept deflecting and wanted to skim over,
Misuse
Is-
of the word.
lying.
You're telling me I'm skimming over as you don't let me finish my reply.
So
You're a
you
joke.
Please, let's bring the focus to the topic of Christians.
The
and
focus
mocking.
is on so much the now that I'm stopping you on each tactic as you display it.
All right, please.
I got
Allow
And
you-
Muhammad,
got a great
Muhammad,
idea.
that sanity machines thing
I have
is
a
bringing
great
up the
idea.
gay bar.
when he's done.
Hey, Tommy,
Please.
did you say something about Muhammad marrying a 6-year-old girl?
Wait, please.
No,
that
the
in the
book
Bible?
said that. I don't really
Please.
dwell on that one because it gets beat to death.
Tom,
But this dude's
Okay.
trying to use the gay bar thing when that's my word.
But
Right,
Does that mean I'm
Tommy just
gay,
hangs out
Muhammad?
with pedos. Tommy
Does
just hangs
that
out with
mean I'm
pedos
gay?
online.
Pedo.
You just hang out with
Muhammad's
pedos
named
No,
online.
don't worry about the Muhammad
Right,
pedo
right.
thing. It speaks
Yeah,
for
with the-
itself.
He's named
Wait.
after Pedo, though.
Right,
Allow
right. But you
Tom-
actually hang out.
hold on.
No.
Allow Tom to answer like he's been trying to answer.
Let him answer,
Right.
please.
So
Which him is? I'm so many people are trying to answer and
I
not
know.
letting each other. Can we
I
clarify who the him is? He,
you know
him.
what? I don't know.
Mike
So
Tyson.
here, Stephen, Tom,
They, them.
take a breath. Let's.
Did you say take meth?
No, I said take a breath. All right, and please, let's give.
Should I
Tom
take a
the
breath or
floor.
take meth in that breath?
Give Tom the floor for just a moment, and please answer.
I don't want the floor. I want the ears.
You
There's
want
one
what?
floor and 2 ears, Jack. Can I have the ears?
I've been trying, dude. You have my ears.
Gross. On a necklace like Vietnam? I'd like that. Now listen. Everybody in this panel versus taking their turn with meth, pedo, gay bar. The gay bar thing was for my right-wing aficionados that don't go on welfare. I got more trim from straight girls working at a gay bar than when I bounced. Well, I don't know if it was as much as the country bar, but a job is a job. So I don't know why Mr. I wrote a book thinks he needs to reduce himself to Tom worked at a gay bar. That was Tom's word. What's
Look
your
here,
problem
gay
with it?
pedo boy. Look here, gay
Here,
pedo boy. I have the
please.
clips of you hanging out with your gay friends who are pedos.
I
all
do
right?
have
on,
gay
the-
friends.
on your little
No.
podcast where you talk about child trafficking and all that type of stuff. I
Here.
have the clips
Whoa,
of it.
whoa, hold on now,
Let's
Jack.
not
Hold
play your
on.
little
Let me
game.
respond to that.
Let's not play your little games here.
I
Those
think
are
you're the
pretty
one playing
serious
games and
things.
not letting me reply to
Oh
your
yeah.
implications.
I'm playing
Hey,
games.
15 lies. Whoa. Allow him to answer.
And that's what I've always done that people forget.
Please.
I came at every meth pedo accusation, and that's why you're reducing yourself to rest on it.
Why
Now,
were they
I don't
made
know.
to you in the first place?
What?
Why were those accusations made on you in the first place?
Oh, are you lacking that lore? Just acknowledge I'm the lore master.
Hold on.
No.
hold on,
You go ahead and give
hold
us the
on,
lore.
Hold on. Hold on.
Okay.
He's covered this, actually. I've heard Tommy explain where it started and how people.
You were there, Jack.
Maybe. I don't remember the specifics, but I
Jack,
know that much
you
of
and I
this
go
has been
back, Jack.
exaggerated, and it's been going on for far too long.
So why would you ask my permission to bring Snafu up?
Can you move past it? We're here. Okay.
Hey, that was the now man.
Well, here's the thing, though.
Spin off of Jack as a superhero now man.
Tom, you've done and said a lot of things.
Wrong. Don't even go there. I'm still on machine lies. I want to have this out.
Well, let's go back to you
Yeah.
being a poor representation.
So you're making it all about me.
Christian. You're a fake Christian.
Get that Muslim.
That's all part of it. We'll get to that.
That's
But current,
the
okay.
thing that
Do you want to
should
deal
be
with fake
realized.
Christian, or do you want to deal with meth pedo with my meth pedo friend?
Crucify that Muslim.
Let's begin right now. Let's begin
Yeah,
right.
crucify that Muslim.
Let's begin right now, Tom.
A bunch
you
of
and
fat
I,
hairy pedos.
of becoming
He worships a
greater
pedo.
Christians.
His
Okay.
prophet's a pedo.
More
Wait,
true.
if we're not allowed to
pedo.
talk about wives, are we allowed to talk about husbands?
We are
Tommy, do
here
not
to be
cut
present.
Jack off, please. I'm sorry. But Jack
Thank
keeps getting cut off, and it's Tommy usually,
What are you
and he's
saying about
drumming
Jack
shit
That's
up.
off?
you.
Brown?
You're the
we're
one
done
that
with
cuts
that.
people off, Brown.
We're done with Tommy cutting you off.
Are you jacking
Wait,
off?
You're gonna
Brown?
have
he's
some
making it
respect.
all about
You're
Tommy.
gonna have some respect for your
That's
Wow.
time,
you.
Jack's time, and our other time.
Oh,
if you
the
have
longest
respect for
running
yourself,
backstage person is going to respect everyone's
Yep.
time.
How
There you
about
go.
this?
And that's
It's been
off
said.
your word.
The truth is true.
Mm-hmm. And Muhammad's lying.
No, you've been very interruptive, and we could have
Because
more
people are
fun.
calling me a meth pedo and I'm saving their breath.
Holy cows!
Muhammad Lies
You
They're
channel.
did it
facts. This
right
is what you
here
claimed on
because
the
of
internet.
your memory.
Muhammad Lies.
See, he's doing the snafu thing. My words.
And Stephen, please.
Let him
You've
let
been-
him tell me why I'm a
been
meth
well-
pedo. I'm interested.
This fat retard on the bottom thinks he's
why
a
do you want to
wizard.
distract?
Would you please?
Oh,
hey,
deflection of
machine
that
lies,
retard. But
let's
Hank's gone.
roll with the ad hominem.
You think you're a wizard?
Why are
And
you doing
Tom's
this?
and
Are you here to sabotage me too?
Who?
no, I'm saying Jack's
Machine lies.
trying to say something,
Oh,
and everyone's
Brown's
over
boy's definitely
talking.
here to sabotage you.
Brother Jack, if I could talk to you for a second.
Except
I'm
for
here
him.
to talk
Brother
about
Jack,
the
Jack,
topic.
if you're a Christian and he's a Muslim,
Shut
like
up, Muhammad.
Yeah, I'm here to talk about the topic that we're here to talk about. If these people will stop interrupting, I would love to talk about the videos and ending war and peace as I've often done with you. So since my engagement with these fellows is having a bad impression on others, I'm going to just stop engaging with them altogether, and I'd like to move on to the topics whenever you have time for it. I'll be here waiting patiently for that. Thank you.
I appreciate that because honestly, I saw you initially starting in a path I appreciated.
Yeah, that's
I
because
thought you were
initially.
going-
Initially there was something to offer in that way because you had played the video on Palestine, so I offered something in that light. But now it seems like I'm being offered something very differently, and I don't care to respond to it. So you can go ahead and engage these fellows, and then when we move back onto the discussion, when you gear it back towards that, I'll be right here for you. Thank you so much, because I'm usually here Talcott Tuesday. Thank you.
I know, and I respect you. And I don't mean any offense.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, no worries. I agree. Thank you.
Jack, you see what he's doing?
Allow me to say what I was trying to say, though. I really appreciated the path of trying to get Tommy to see his behavior and his
Hold up.
identification of being a Christian. But
I
then what I
am.
saw is that you allowed yourself to drop into the chaos. And I know you're a better man than that.
Yeah, the
And I
topic
know you
isn't
are
Tommy
here
Smith
to
pedo, and he's
support.
here for that topic.
And so
Now, the other thing he's doing that's
you,
common in the
my
panel
brother,
verse is he
Tom,
got his hits in, and now he wants to get up on his porch and
Tom,
say, no, 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 boo boo. He's here for the
no,
topic.
Tom,
Jack,
Yes,
Tom,
that's
yes,
exactly what
I agree
happened
with
since
Tommy.
you had us
Who
I
backstage.
agree.
hello, Tom. This we
Jack,
can
no matter
come back
what you
to
care or don't
this.
care about, it doesn't change the truth that has
It's
transpired.
right. And
Jack, can
look
I
at
offer
you.
something? Can I offer you
Do
something?
you think it's helpful?
I do think it would be very helpful. I think if you
Hank
gave
is against me defending myself against meth pedo.
if you gave Muhammad and Tommy maybe 3 minutes one-on-one with each other to hash it
No,
out,
we need
then
a
we can move
mediator.
on.
We're going to need a
I'd be
mediator.
the
It's a
mediator.
Christian versus a
I'll be the
Muslim.
mediator if you want a mediator, just to hash it out. Because then, otherwise, it's good. This is going to linger and stick around and just go back and forth. Maybe
This
give them
is the
3 minutes,
lingering. This is the
and then
sticker
we'll
around, yeah.
move on, like to hash things out, because they obviously have some issues that should be dealt with.
I will definitely move on.
Is that agreeable to both parties?
I think my picture shows a willingness to resolutions, but I don't think I'll get that with a lion
Mike
fucking Muhammad
Tyson. Mike
pedo.
Tyson. I think that would be the best idea, and then we could move back to the
Daisy,
topic.
you're
of
unblocked
the-
on my channel, girl.
I'll just let these children bicker about whatever they like, other than
Oh,
the
you mean
topic.
like
so
the
you don't
child
want-
that
That's
said
fine,
he's
you
the
know.
meth pedo
When
and
we
ran
get
up
back-
on his porch and
When
said,
we
you
get
don't
back
wanna
to the
resolve
topic,
things,
as I said,
Tommy.
I'll get back into the discussion.
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank
you
You don't wanna
don't want
resolve
the
things.
topic because you're digging a hole of prove it, and I
Thank you. Thank you for being a voice of reason again, my brother. The machine lies, especially. Okay.
I was going to
This
say
is
you're welcome. I thought you meant me, the voice of reason.
no. You've been entertaining the chaos,
I've been-
but you're doing much better. You're doing
I've been
much
trying
better.
to
I,
mediate.
and I appreciate. Well, yes, the best way for us, honestly, the best way for us to get along with each other in this realm, in our real lives, it really is with an intention to care. It's really that simple. But
I do care.
What do you care about, though?
Well, I was trying to resolve things between the machine lies and Tommy.
Yes, I saw that.
And I
I
did
saw
think that might be best to be able to do that to move on. So
It's-
so that this doesn't happen another day. I just think it's kind of better to kind of get through, like tearing a Band-Aid off and then move on, you know?
You know, Stephen, I understand that I wouldn't force that. I wouldn't impose that. Those are choices that each one could make, but admittedly, that is something that I hope to do. I think actually, if given the chance, I can be an excellent mediator. I'm very good at arguing both sides or many sides of many different things. It's what my life created me for. But without people's willingness to find a resolve, many of these debate things turn into argument for entertainment.
I'd just like to be a peacemaker. I don't want war. I'm tired of all the conflicts and drama and arguments and yelling, and I just like a calm discussion.
If you're honest with that, I encourage you, keep that as your focus, because it is my focus. Despite how it looks, and admittedly, I shared this earlier in my stream today. In my path, my life, part of this daily live stream is, dude, there is hours and hours and hours of me. So it's documenting a good part of my life. And I'm pretty open and honest about the things that I'm doing offline, and I'm sharing the story of me Today I reached a new level of surrender to God, a new level of egoic detachment. And I was thinking about these things and realizing this is the path that I found myself on. I mean, I made the choices I made, but along my path of recovery through the alcoholism and then what I'd been learning within myself regarding practices of mindfulness,
Mm.
as I was feeling better about being me, I've been paying attention real close. What did I do? What did I do to overcome this? How did I figure out that? How did I make those connections or get through this? So I've been paying attention to the inner me so that I can better communicate what it is that I'm hoping to share with all of you. Because truly, if we surrender to God, if we truly surrender to God, which I encourage and I invite everyone to do, then realize each of us is a child of God. Every part of nature that's natural was brought forth for us, right? We've been given this world where everyone's fighting for control, for domination. Well, this fighting for control and for domination, for survival and economic survival, it's resulted in a lot of visible and open corruption, right? Trying to remember how long I listened to this guy as far as what might be shared. I encourage, like I said, I think his name is Ben Horton. I would love to have a conversation with this guy. So if anyone tuning in appreciates him, go give him some support and, who knows?
He looked a bit like a young Jack Talcott.
He's a good young man.
There's a bit of a resemblance.
And listen to his words. What he's saying is absolutely true. It's unfortunate, but absolutely true. Whether it's Republican or Democrat, both sides have been against what is honorable. Both sides have been against our freedom,
they're giving war criminal Joe Biden the excuse that he wants so he can blame Netanyahu and say that it's all Netanyahu's fault, ignoring the fact that this is completely bipartisan in the United States because imperialism is bipartisan, like the invasion of Iraq was bipartisan, like the US-led NATO destruction of Libya in 2011.
Yeah, and let's not forget, I mean, when the Iraq thing wasn't that long ago, and yet there have been millions of people have been affected, displaced, their lives, their history, entire families wiped out of the record books due to the sickness of war. What's that? You're back, Tommy.
Oh, shit. What's this?
This is that geopolitical.
I feel like everything that I was attacked about was glossed over, and now that hangs as truth. Like everybody got to say Tom's a this, and then it's glossed over any response.
Tell you what, is there something you want to correct?
Yes, there's people in your chat saying there's no value here, and this reminds me of many times you've facilitated value, but it doesn't come from the actual words we're saying. And I'm not sure everybody knows how to watch what's happening beyond the surface words. I know Muhammad doesn't.
Hey.
And I try and call him Muhammad because when he says the machine lies, it's too labeled. It's obvious.
Well, holy cows. You've got a lot of opinions and a lot of rules, man.
Do you know the difference between opinions and you say rules, but we all have boundaries. Like I have
Well,
boundaries of you
you've
doing me
got
like you do and
walls.
saying I'm your friend.
Dude, you've got walls. You don't
Like the
have
walls of Jericho?
You've got walls and you're fighting for control and you expect
On the contrary, you know me as a wrench denying fairest panel in the panelverse. No one has debunked that yet.
Just because you find an exception or a disagreement does not change
I live for exceptions.
The accuracy of my words
is
It's
not
better to
accurate.
it's
You're like an
better to be
unzeroed
correct.
red dot.
It's best to be correct more so than right.
Hold up.
If you're
Okay,
inaccurate,
you contradicted yourself with bullshit. You just said
No.
it's best to be correct over right.
yes.
Define the difference.
Well, people may think they're right, but they're inaccurate. And if they're
That doesn't make
inaccurate,
sense. You're
if
fucking
they're
up the language.
if they are inaccurate about what they believe to be right, they can
That sentence
mislead
in itself can
others.
be unpacked so extensively.
It's the truth, and the
You
truth
like
can be
to think
applied
to hope
in
for what
many
you want
different
to
ways.
wish for.
If you accept the truth, you can understand it.
You're a cult leader to sit and lecture me.
What's my cult?
Well, you don't have one, but
Right.
channels
So
I
how
didn't
am I
know
leading
you.
anything? Who am I leading?
Did you interrupt me?
Yes, I did. I'm sorry.
You got all the traits your daddy. You're just worse at it.
I don't know who's my daddy.
You do know.
If
And he
you're
abandoned
referring
you
to
like your
Polly
kids
Boy,
abandoned you.
It's you. You're the mirror of Polly Boy, running around accusing people and trying to tell people.
Now,
that
can
they're
you
not doing
understand
right.
what you're saying versus what I do when you won't let me clarify? I'm still leaving this meth pedo thing lingering. You're driving me nuts. And he won't
Why
come
do
to
you
my
keep
house
bringing
and
it
bring
up?
it, and I'll let him finish. I'll let him play his clips.
Can you join us here in the now?
That's a deflection. It's very much the now
An
that you've
invitation.
rotated every day. You rotate who you think the problem is in the middle of the problem.
Every day a
That's
different
the value
problem
people
shows
don't
up.
see.
Today you're the problem, Tom.
Until Machine Lies was the problem. You're fucking insane, Jack. And
I'm
I
not.
appreciate that you sit here insane so I
Can
can
you
watch
take a
Machine Lies
breath?
back you up and deflect from what he did up here. You're
Tom, if
all
you
a
take-
joke, and the craziest Steven has the most value right now.
Tommy, you're a blatant liar when you say come to my house, we'll resolve it. But last time I came, you deflected with clips to stall. You're ridiculous.
No,
That's a damn
you're a
lie.
good example of what I'm saying, Hank. You are
Yes.
so locked into your admitted troll tour that you're an example of don't try and say I'm not fair because I don't hear out Hank's looping bullshit.
Holy cow.
You're not
Stop
fair.
with the holy cows! You're not
Don't-
in India.
Would you
Oh, thanks for controlling our speech, Tommy. That's what we need, a mod spook.
No,
Stop.
cows are holy in India.
Yes, we need your mod spooking.
I'd like to point out what would help us all is if we cooperate. Simply cooperate rather than
So
trying
letting
to-
each person get their thing and not glossing over the Tom's a fake Christian meth pedo and moving on.
Well, I'd love to really circle back.
I don't believe you. Fuck
Can
you.
you show me that you're not a fake Christian? How would I know? He left. I stand by Tom is not he is not yet a great representation of a Christian. But he's learning and growing.
Tommy didn't utilize me enough. He could have used me to cover his ass. Like, I'm a Unitarian Universalist. He could use that as a distraction. He's not even being tactical. I'm sorry. He could have been tactical. He could have said, oh, well, he's a fake Christian too. Well, I have a church body. We have a long history in the United States. He's not even being tactical. It was very easy to cover himself. That's very unfortunate.
Is a Christian in that description a follower of Christ or of religion?
Well, it's a follower of Christ, but that is a religion, at least the way I use the word. Some people say it's not a religion, but that's smokescreen.
Hank, is
There's
a church a building or is it something more than that?
It's something more than that. It's the building and the people and the operations and the policy and codes.
church. Well, those words. I mean, everything we experience and we understand, it comes through words. But really, a church, it's easy to let our mind be defined by what others have said. A church is not just a building. What does that symbolize? In the building is going to be people, and those people are going to be connected to the spiritual message. So wherever the spiritual message is shared, where people gather, there is a church being attended. And really, whatever the message is, as people gather, there is a church. It's a gathering, communicating.
Yeah, I'm just very disappointed. I was trying to protect Tommy from sticking his own foot in his mouth since he didn't mount the simplest of defenses on that fake Christian accusation.
Tom is going to have a realization soon. And when he does, he's going to feel a lot better and worse. That was my experience. What I'm seeing is we are all a part of life, right? And what is life but God's creation? Whether you accept it or not, there's a creator and a source behind all things. And the idea of worship and church, those are words that I didn't really give much attention to for most of my life. Matter of fact, I thought those people who were going to church and they found things to worship, I thought they were confused, man. They didn't know what they were doing. They were living in a fairy tale.
I still think that, Jack, but I mean, you've changed, right? You've changed your trajectory, you might say. Hank, can someone be a Christian though if they're a gay witch? Can they
Jack
still be a
was
Christian?
saying something, and then
yes,
you cut him
because
off.
the requirement is following Christ. You get to follow him.
Okay, never
Is to
mind.
follow Jesus Christ. That's the only requirement.
So even if you
Then
practice black magic, you could still be a Christian.
Well,
witchcraft?
magic's not. Well, I'm not magical racist. I don't care about the color of the magic, but Jesus was the best magician ever.
Yeah,
so.
but it says witchcraft and tarot cards. You're not supposed to do that stuff. It says in the Bible.
Yes, but priests started using tarot cards first. Christian priests.
Maybe they just meant you didn't have to do one craft. You could choose between like which craft you wanted to do.
Yeah.
No, bronze boy. That's not
funny
true.
enough. I apologize. I yield.
That's not true.
Yeah, and I agree. I heard Steven say on my show that that Jesus was an Egyptian priest or something like that. So that mean that there's nothing categorically wrong with magic, even in his view, anyways.
No,
But
I didn't call him an Egyptian priest. No.
Oh, yes, you did. We have it on record. But anyways,
No,
the
I
whole
didn't say
thing. Okay. Well, you could change whatever you want, but yeah. But the point is that I agree with Jack in his definition of church. As my friend, Mikey said, he said, the body is the temple, and it's like wherever
Mikey.
two or more are gathered in His name. That's
Wait,
actually
you're friends with that gay guy, Mikey?
It's not a physical. It's not a physical.
He has a. No, he's not gay.
I thought he was.
Would you
He has a family.
Hold on, Hank, please. I'm sorry to do this, but that was rude. First, Steven jumps in with an irrelevant question to interrupt, and then Hank, you jumped in to offer the answer.
Yeah,
I mean,
Hank.
that's what Tommy was getting at too, about you answering for others.
Do better than that.
Okay,
Hank.
then resolve it yourself. You
And
think you have
what I'm
to resolve it
trying to,
yourself,
all I'm
Jack.
trying to say is, if I call you
Hank.
out on it, it's just so that I know, like, if it's happening and the host is okay with me calling it out, I'd rather call it out than have
Just
the
be
host have
quiet,
to fucking
Bronze
call it
Boy.
out every single
With all
time,
due
because
respect.
you do it basically every single time. You're like, but yeah, that's
We're
it.
here. Thank you. We're learning and growing together. I allow people to do as they do, but I do hope we're going to improve our ability and our willingness to communicate with each other. And I'm sorry for where if you remember your thought, you were actually trying to offer agreement with something you heard from me. How's that for egoic, man? Tell me more about how you agree with me, my brother.
Hey, Jack, I have a legit question, though. Would this be considered a church, even if it's online? Because we're meeting, we're having fellowship, discussing, uh,
Hey, I got,
spirituality.
ask your waiter.
Huh?
Well,
My
no,
waiter.
here, actually,
Yeah,
I
Jack's not your fucking butler, bro.
no, hey, don't be
Oh,
rude.
man, this is.
Don't be rude, because that's a question I asked myself. And
Let
there was a
Jack answer
couple
the
of
question.
All
streams.
right, I apologize then. I just didn't want. I wanted to make sure that you know what
Here,
you know
please,
now.
please, yes, thank you. So that was a question I asked myself, because I am of this faith, and this is where Machine Lies was at too, I think, is the body is the temple. And if we carry the temple of God with us, where 2, 3 more are gathered, well, therefore there is God. The presence is more widely known, I guess. And so I thought, yeah, I've become a guy. I talk about God every day and
Good
love,
question.
and so why couldn't this be considered church?
That was a great question, and that was a great answer. And I think it came. I think, Stephen, the question came from the origin of like how does somebody with no soul figure out that they have a soul? Because that's where he's coming
That's
from.
not where. That's not at all. I have a spirit. You're being rude and nasty for no reason. I don't know why. I'm asking legitimate,
That way.
valid questions out of curiosity and trying to see what Jack's thoughts are on this.
Hey,
I
Steve,
don't understand him.
he's trying, and unfortunately sometimes we try too hard and in the wrong directions, but I'm trusting, and I think you are being honest there, Stephen. Welcome back, Tommy.
I'm not welcome, but I'm back.
You are welcome, especially
You
when you're
say
not
move
free.
and I'm dead, but I say I'm dead and I move.
How do we know?
You don't. I've been trying to show you that.
Just because you move doesn't mean that you're real. You only think you move. You only think you
Oh, I
feel.
know I move. That's why I have scars.
I don't see you move.
Well, I'm not going to cam up for your faggot ass. I'm going to sit here
I'm
and
not
I'm going
putting
to
my butler on.
crucify
I'm not
myself
putting my
like I
butler on
always
camera.
do.
I pay my butler
People
very
say
well.
there's
He's
no
a Negro,
value
but he
in the
gets
panel
paid very well.
Please, Stephen. Tom,
It's the
where
truth.
were
No,
you?
let him say what he's saying. I love days like this because it's why I try and tell Steven I just cook with him when I can. If I can't work with it, I just leave it.
You know what today is?
Titty Cut
Monday?
Tuesday.
It's
Tuesday?
Talcott Tuesday, dude. There's no
Oh,
fucking
Talcott.
around with
I'd
it.
prefer Tuesday.
It's Talcott Tuesday.
Why
Where
is
I
that?
am, where I am,
Well, wherever you go, there you
That
are.
sounds a bit
It's not where I
egoic,
want
though,
to be.
Jack. It's
I
Talcott
know.
Tuesday. You're
I
claiming
know.
the day, dude.
Yeah,
Hey, I
he's
am
not
claiming
egoic.
the day. And as long as others agree with it, I get away with it. That's how the American society works. You
Oh,
claim it, and if people believe it, you win.
wait, what?
That's
Wait, what?
economics, dude.
It's Titty
It's
Cut
economics.
Tuesday, Tommy. Tommy.
Yeah.
Jack, your value right now is letting Machine Lies support you and think he's doing a
Hey,
thing.
You're supporting me less than you think
I'm
you
not
are.
supporting you. I'm supporting
I
the
know.
facilitation
Muhammad's
of
been very
value
quiet.
people can't see.
Hey, actually, you know what? Life can be challenging. Life can be tricky. We face a lot of interesting characters in this online realm, and it can be frustrating, and it can also be enlightening and
That's pompous. Jack, we started this stream. I was pointing out you're not even really a meme anymore. You're just being a
I know.
buffoon, and you're talking about all these characters.
Well, let me explain, because I mentioned earlier, I went
Oh,
through
you get to explain.
it's my experience. I went through another
You know,
level.
when I'm done smoking this 8-ball of meth, I'm going to go find some unsuspecting kids with my van because I'm a fake Christian.
What?
I hope
You heard it here first. My words, right?
I hope you think those thoughts through before you move with any things.
Okay,
But-
so you're taking the I want to fuck my dead grandmother serious, but it's Talcott Tuesday.
Well, here on
Kitty
Talcott
cat.
Tuesday earlier today, I
Does
went
anybody
through
see the value yet? I'm talking to the chat. Does anybody see the value?
another level of detachment. I have
No, Snow, I
less-
already clipped your little
No,
visit
Tom.
to your.
Let me explain.
I'm going
What I-
to
what I
burn that
mean is-
snowman.
I have even less shits to give about what you think about me. I
We
really
know that.
don't
We know. See, the
care
value is you didn't have to
whatsoever.
tell us that, Jack.
Not just you, but everyone.
Right. We know. You don't
Even
care what
me?
family number 1 thinks of you. You don't care what
Nope.
family number 2 thinks of you.
Nope.
You don't know what. You don't care what army slice that became father to you 3 cares
What
about
about his
you.
neighbor?
But you're
Like
gonna
his
help
neighbor
us.
John or something, or who is it? You don't.
Oh,
Your neighbor?
who? What? Joseph?
But you
Joseph.
do care
yeah,
what both church
Joseph.
number 1 and church number 2 think about
Joseph. I was
Oh,
thinking
I don't
John.
care.
Joseph.
I don't care.
Then why are you asking us to advocate for things you do not care about? That would have thrown me for a loop if I'd gotten you to the UN.
Well, that's a good question, but it's in your best
And
interest.
is there a good answer?
Yes, it's in your best interest
To what?
to help me end wars.
But you don't care about the things you want us to help you with.
What makes you think that?
You just told us.
What did I tell you?
You said you don't care what anybody thinks of you. And if you're going to move the hearts and minds of the UN, I would hope you care about that.
Right. All I care about is what is real and what is
No,
true.
that's the thing you're most detached from.
No.
Yes,
God
you
is
can't figure
real.
out if you can't even figure out who's standing against you and who's trying to help you. And I admit they're very
Right.
similar. in
No,
look.
I figured it out. The world is against me. The only thing is
No, that's arrogant.
I'm
The
no
world doesn't know who the
different
fuck
than
you are.
Tom. I'm no different than you or anyone else.
You're very
God
different
is
from
the
me, just
only
like
thing
Machine
that
Lives is
can heal you.
different and Steven's different. We're all different. It's diversity.
Excuse me. God is amazing.
Well, you can't just
True.
deflect to that. We all know that already. That's like saying you hate pedo. We all hate pedo.
Well,
Except people
Except
that
Muhammad.
I was just
Yeah, yeah.
reinforcing what I had explained. See, you keep ignoring my explanations, dude.
You
over
keep
and over.
ignoring the words you use to explain. And you keep ignoring other people's explanation for accusations you facilitate.
You know, Freedom Grower, I used to think I was too good for this.
Do
But
you
at
not
this
know
point-
Freedom Grower?
At this point,
He can't
praise
even
God.
stay culted. And whenever he leaves the cult, nobody likes him. Go play your guitar and let your wife fuck black dudes already.
Hey, see, you get so insulting so quickly.
You
like-
facilitate insulting. You insult me when you're backstage and you've left the fake Christian meth pedo hanging, and I wanted to cover it.
I don't know
I've
what
heard
you're
it for 2
talking
years.
about. See, you have a habit of not letting things go.
I haven't let go. When Muhammad shows up to say meth pedo, I don't let it go.
Well, how about this? You found an opinion of me a long time ago and you haven't let it go.
Wrong. Wrong. You
You
are
found-
consistently representing what I've shown you to be, just like your daddy.
What if you found an excuse to deny me trust so you didn't trust me anymore?
I
And
found
then
a
ever
reason
since-
to deny you trust, but you talk about me denying trust when I don't need it.
You lack trust, and that makes you
I
prideful.
don't lack things that I don't need. I do not wear armor because I cannot
How do you
lose
know
what I do
you
not have.
need? How do you know? Why are you so arrogant, dude?
Because I have truth. And when you
No.
call me arrogant, you're misrepresenting me and showing you don't know what's right in front of your fucking face.
Well, you seem a bit prideful and upset again.
That's
And I
your
don't mean-
opinion.
Am I wrong? I'm trying to be
Yes!
accurate. So what
I'm
is
tired
accurate?
of this fucking loop. And I'm
Well,
tired
then
of the only
stop
one
it.
being the one that sees it.
Maybe you should
And if
stop
anybody
and
else
shut
sees
down.
it and isn't showing how obvious it is, they're wrong too.
I agree. People who stay out of our world is going to change.
You have no words to say what you
There.
want us to believe, and you shouldn't even bother.
Actually, our world will change when we work together to confront the
Shut
insanity.
the fuck
Tom,
up
your
with your
behavior-
loop.
Your behavior is the
The
loop.
people up here slandering me and defending you have a past of acknowledging what I'm saying, and that's why none of you can keep me down. Because I have truth.
So what?
I'm going to show every
Not
fucking
right
lie
now.
Sherelle Snow had to set the
Right.
record straight on. I've already showed your lies. I've already showed the machine lies. I
Right
am
now-
the only representative of fucking truth to this community as far as the shit that happens in this community.
You're a
And
liar.
I'm definitely leaving when I said I'm leaving. And
You lied,
You're
all
Muhammad.
you did is what I
You're
contribute.
proven to be a liar, and so is this fat Satanist in
No,
the bottom
you
here.
keep saying that without
I'm not a
showing
Satanist.
that.
You're a pedo
Yeah, you
lover.
are. You're a
I'm
satanic
Muslim.
loser. You're a satanic loser.
You're a pedo lover.
Well,
I'm not. I'm not
please.
satanic. at
You're
all.
a satanic loser.
Liar.
Does everyone see the
Don't lie.
irrelevance on all sides of this constant snafu
Don't lie,
accusation
pedo lover.
and nothing more?
What?
Pedo lover Muslim.
You're actually.
Hey,
No,
Muhammad, you're a
Yeah,
bad.
we're not pedos like your little Satanist buddies.
They're both proven liars. There's no disagreement
Exactly.
between Stephen and Tommy. They're both proven liars. Now, I believe that, I always try to figure out, why is God bringing this experience to me? My prayer earlier today, and I invite others too. I turn myself over. God, this is your day. This is your day. You've given me this life to live. What do you want us to do together? I've been trying to figure out what to do. I was inspired by those conversations. There's more than just me. There's a lot of us in this world today who are seeing this corruption and the obvious evil that's being enabled. Criminals enabling criminals. The United States government and the war machine. So I was inspired with the day, praying to God, use me. For what, I don't know. But today brought us to this, and we've got two liars in the back. They're both, I don't want to oversell them. They both have decent senses of humor. They could be entertaining. They could be fun. But holy cows, until they see the power, until people accept responsibility for what is true, they show themselves to be clowns. So how do we encourage these guys? Let's not vilify, please. Let's not vilify. We don't need to punish, but let's see if we can invite and encourage some people to become more honest.
Jack, tell me how I'm a proven liar when I know you to be that. Oh, hold on. You're fucking with my volume.
What
did
have I
earlier.
lied about? What have I lied about?
Yeah, and show how it's proven. Because the guy you're favoritism to, he keeps claiming we're liars and not showing it.
He's a cross-eyed.
And I back the fact that Toilet Bowl Earth took him saying what people were saying and said, there he is, he admitted it. But now I think he's playing that game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because just like I tell Snafu, if my words were I'm a meth pedo homo, why wouldn't I just say that right now? But you're a fucking proven liar, Jack. That's why I don't trust you. Because I trusted you for offline interaction, and I watched you say the opposite, just like a Sherelle Snow up here on public. That's why I like to stay public. You
And
think your family told you a fucking liar? And which family am I referencing?
The third one.
Well, that one didn't get ringed up.
And you both deflected from yourselves into
Misuse of terminology. Objection, misuse.
Well, you both were allowed to say
Hey,
what you said.
stop with, hey, hello. You want to get in the now and stop with the accusation?
Hello.
You just want to blame everyone, Jack.
That's me or you?
You want to blame two churches for not trusting you when historically, if I had a brick and mortar, I would choose the one best for me. And you're making your tours around them, wondering why they won't accept you. You have as many churches as you do baby mamas.
Well, I go where the Spirit guides me. And
That's not the Spirit. You're trusting your feels. And on a recent your stream, I showed you why Jesus said don't trust your feels.
Well, here's right. You think you're proving a lot of things, but
I'm telling you that Bible that the expert Muslim in Christianity won't teach you.
Join here in the present, because
that's
life
me
is right now. And Tom,
what does that mean?
Let me ask your permission. Because
how do you take a conversation that's ongoing and say, hello, get in the now?
Hello.
Holy cows, Jack.
Holy cows, man.
Holy cows. Let's wear it out.
Can we join together here in the present moment?
Oh, I wish I could leave. But there's been all these standing accusations that the accusers don't want to show the clips or hear my retort. It's lies. It's a grand delusion.
The top square.
So that's a no. You're not able to join here in the present, like
I deserve an apology from that cross-eyed Muslim.
Hello, Jack. Where did you go? Jack, where's Jack, guys? I'm in the present. Where did Jack go?
Holy cows!
Holy cows!
This is absolute insanity.
That's
in the greater picture, beyond your opinions, Tommy. It is absolute insanity. And I entertained Stephen for most of the stream yesterday, and tried to communicate and help him to see his behavior. Been patient with Tommy again today, and neither one of them are willing to discuss, hey, where am I wrong? What do you mean? This is delusional, man. There's another example of delusion. Praise God, man. Everyone, we are participating in the creation of the future. This is God's story. Mankind, we're just going through the motion, but there's so much happening in this world right now. So much good and bad is happening today, right now. What is it, September 3rd? People going back to work, right? I'm imagining the postal clerks going back to work, a mountain of mail left over because the slaves got a day off from the masters. We're all volunteering. This world, man, it is insane. But on the spiritual talk, right? My purpose, my focus sincerely is this organization here, Veterans for Peace. Peace is the purpose, the end of wars. It'll transform humanity in the future when wars are not enabled, profited from, normal. The world will be completely safer when the rules are changed, when people become honest. You know what? Margot Davy, you can either join or leave. Okay. You're welcome to join the conversations. I've been growing in my patience. I've been growing. Go ahead
Yes,
if you got.
yeah, sure. I think it's interesting how when people want to resolve the issues in the world, it seems like people naturally subdivide into two camps. And one side actually blames I guess humanity, and the other side blames nature, right? So one side says actually, it's human nature that we have to all rise above, right? And the other side says, well, there's bad actors among us that are that are causing the problems. So whether it's a call to unify or a call to evolve past our present conditions, the blame ends up becoming on humanity. So I love how one of the thinkers, Henrik Skolmowski, put it that we need ecological humanism. We need something that values both nature and humanity. It doesn't blame nature and it doesn't blame humanity. We came from nature and we are human. We must value both in order to resolve conflicts.
Sorry to interrupt. I love that, right? And here, the path to peace is to rise above the blame. And I kind of wanted to interrupt because by invitation, I timed her out in the chat, but it appears someone from my past has chosen to join. Welcome back, Margot.
Hello, the machine lies. Thank you for that last explanation. It was
For
beautiful. I
sure.
appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for joining. Blessings.
Hmm.
Yeah, the ideas between man and nature, and there's been debates and discussions about that throughout time. I'm of the belief that, well, it's explained many different ways, but the psychology of the full actualization, becoming self-realized, it's the same as the philosophies of the Buddhic path, and it's also the teachings of Jesus. It's all the same.
All right, Jack, I have a question for you. I had a medical emergency 2 weeks ago, and as you know, I do work. You call me a slave. I get to educate individuals every single day, so I don't feel like I'm a slave. I feel like I get paid for my hobby and my passion, and for that I'm so grateful to God. Anyway, so I had a medical emergency 2 weeks ago. Had emergency surgery. I'm out of work for another 3 or 4 weeks. Also, by the grace of God, my employer offers me medical insurance and is now taking care of me financially. Who takes care of you if you have some kind of a medical emergency? Do you turn to a hospital? Do you just decide that it's God's way of saying lights out, Jack? What do you do?
It would depend on the moment and the variables involved, wouldn't it?
Let's say this afternoon you had let's say a brain bleed, a stroke. What would you do
I
this
like
afternoon?
I certainly like what you said in your statement, Margot, that you said it's by the grace of God.
Yes.
So I think that is a good way to put it. What would any of us do in such a horrible situation as you are now facing, and I hope it gets better for you, is
Thank you.
really that is that to a certain extent, God gives us our daily bread, and we have to really, yet we must not live on bread alone, so, we have to rely on the resources we have available. We understand those were not totally procured through us, yet we're at the, disposal to a certain extent of the collective effort of humanity, because then we have to trust the doctors, and they don't always
Yeah.
make the right decisions either. So
Yes.
so it's all
You're
mixed
absolutely
in.
right.
Yeah.
And I agree with all that. However, I'm touching more on the financial aspect of it. Jack was saying that postal workers are slaves, and I can be considered a slave as well. However, I bargain, correct? I go to school and I provide a service that I love to provide, and they provide me with financial security so I
Well,
can pay
this
for
is
the
a
roof
this
over
is
my
a
home.
but
Hold on,
before you
hold on, hold
finish.
on. Oh,
Yeah, but just before you finish, we don't want to disclose Jack's financial information because this is a public show, so we're gonna leave that
Don't
alone.
don't worry about it.
yeah,
Don't,
and I
don't
and
worry.
I won't do that. But I trade services, correct? I provide what I love to do, and in return, I'm provided with the safety and security for my children and myself. I keep a roof over my head, and fortunately, I will walk away with this with no medical bills. So my question to Jack is, what happens if you have a stroke this afternoon? Do you call 911 and ask that the community take over financially for your well-being? What do you do?
I'd like an opportunity after Jack.
I don't feel the need to answer that question. A hypothetical.
May
Jack, what
I
are you
for my
going to do if
contract?
you have a stroke? I guess I'll sit and rot until fucking someone smells. I mean, piss off,
That's
Margot.
true. No,
Please,
it's a good question. May I answer the question?
yeah,
Hold on,
please.
my volume seems to be tampered with.
Jack, why would you tell me to fuck off when I asked you a legitimate question?
You claim it's legitimate.
I do.
Yeah.
You call me a slave, and I tell you that
Margot,
I bargain and I trade my
Margot,
services
Are
for
we
Margot.
still
security.
doing the September 8th thing? No, bring.
I'm trying to say something if you can't tell, Tom. So, Margot, you misrepresented what I say. This system is wage slavery, and you're describing it accurately. You're dependent upon your employer to receive the care from other human beings, because without your employer's insurance and guarantees, you couldn't get help, could you? You
It's
don't know any
true.
other
That's
way.
my answer. It's why I was homeless the first time. And you're slapping me in the face with this. Now, what's going on with September 8th? Because you've taken up enough of my day. Are you guys both coming September 8th? And are you going to grant me any kind of mediation ability? Because it's not going to be this Talcott fiasco.
Absolutely, Tommy. I am more than willing to abide by your monetary abilities.
And I'm not claiming
Monitoring.
I'm Judge Judy, but I love people saying I'm not the fairest, most unbiased thing. It's people that I actually despise that gives me the chance to show I'll be that for Jack. I'm not going to let my feels dictate how I treat Jack. And I'll try and help you guys get to the bottom of the issue. And I've pointed out to the community, we've got to figure out what that is. Jack wants a resolution. You want to? I don't even know what that'll be.
I have
Because
another
it's
question.
obviously not as simple as just both of you apart. We're in part of a panel verse.
And Jack, if I am a slave, aren't I shackled and chained? Don't I have to remain employed?
No, you're willing.
He doesn't.
Exactly.
But Jack, she's right. I only had vehicle insurance, and I learned very quickly, okay, until your court stuff comes to fruition, you have no health insurance, and I was paying out the pocket. And
Okay.
by the time
Well,
everybody, I heard
So
somebody
who
talking, I
is
stopped.
more free? Who is more free, me or
Hey,
you, Jack?
Margot,
Yes.
I am far more free than you because you keep attaching yourself to arguments, trying to prove
Whoa, that's
wrong,
that's
just
not
like
a
Tommy
statement.
has done. Just like Tommy has done.
That's
Oh,
not
and
true because you're
actually,
not making
well,
sense.
it is true. And actually, here's another one that loves to be enabled by Margot.
Well, how did Mark? Let's talk without you butting me out. How did Margot enable me?
You
It's a
can't
fair
answer.
question.
If
How
I
did
were
Margot
to
enable
say
me? And I'm
that,
glad to hear you're doing better, Margot, recovering,
Thank
as I
you.
knew she was.
I can tell you how I enabled you, Snafu. I don't consider
You didn't enable me. I decided to reach out and say,
Yes.
hey,
Yes.
I am one of those who knows Jack lies. I'm sure the family feels harassed. I'm sure he's lying about his rape optics. Let me contact them, and would they be willing to talk to me? And so I'm what's called a whistleblower and journalist. And I, with Margot saying, yes, I get it, reached out and did what I did.
yep, you guys are quite allied. You've been proud of it.
I'm allied with everyone on the internet, Jack, except for you, because you have hurt people that I care about.
That's your claim. And you've publicly persecuted me by your claims.
In hopes that you would stop harming people I care about.
But Margot, you've imagined harm.
How? What did I imagine, Jack?
And you've literally created harm.
What did I imagine?
To first my reputation, but in the long run, Margot, your reputation. You haven't considered the effects of if you're wrong
I'm not wrong.
about anything.
Well, absolutely. I'm a child of God. I have flaws.
And so who asked you to go defend our community against me? Who asked you to take care of that?
My community.
Protect people.
Well,
who asked you to protect people from Jack Talcott?
I didn't need anyone to ask me. I took it upon myself, Jack.
You chose to do that.
Yes. Because I knew that you were harming people I cared about.
You knew, but you didn't really talk to me about what you claimed to know.
Well, you're not an honest individual, Jack.
Well, that's what you've been telling everyone. And Margot, what I'm suggesting is you've been running around protecting people from me when you actually, I asked you the other day, what happened to me? What changed me and had me behaving different? And you said you didn't know.
That is correct.
Okay, but I've explained it over and over and over.
You've explained your perception of your change.
And your denial of my testimony and your denial of the many facts that show that you've been wrong about me.
How?
By imagining that I'm a threat.
Well, no, Jack,
that's how.
You threaten to commit suicide. That puts others in danger.
What year was that?
Doesn't matter what year it was, Jack. It happened.
Okay, so because you think something happened a long time ago, you think it matters today
because you still claim that you harmed no one. That's why.
And please, who was harmed and how were they harmed?
I'm not going to speak of other people, Jack. You know who they are.
But Margot, this is what you're relying upon to bastardize me online and publicly.
Well, at your family's request, I'm no longer going to be discussing them. So I will.
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't Who did you talk to in my family?
Well, again, there are family members that used to be family members of yours that have asked me to no longer mention them
So
on panel.
family comes and goes. They're not real family.
Jack, you know that there's
Margot,
family members.
don't assume what I know. I'm trying to understand you. Muhammad, are you here? Can you help us? Maybe.
Jack,
You see
Jack,
what I'm trying to uncover here?
no, you're not. You're trying to push me in a corner. Your family does not want me to talk about them anymore. I will not. I will say that you were
I'm asking
very
you to
verbally
explain
abusive
you.
to Rhonda and to Maria.
Rhonda and Maria.
Yes.
Who exactly are they to me?
You know who they are, Jack.
Well, let the public know.
Why don't you let them know?
Rhonda is some stranger who came out of the woodwork off Facebook. I don't think I've ever actually met her in my life, but she wanted to paint me as a false Christian who didn't understand Jesus. And since Margot was there, enabled by others, well, I've been facing Margot and her flying monkeys trying to prove me wrong for several years now.
Will you please go back to my original question and tell me what you would do if you had a stroke this afternoon?
Well, why bring the Rhonda lady in as a piece of evidence? You know, if
Because
Jack doesn't really know her.
Jack asked me who. Well, you know what? That is Rhonda's story. Jack knows what happened. I'm going to leave it at that.
Right, but
Rhonda
it looks
has
like
and real quick here,
been
and real,
harmed. Here, Rhonda has never been harmed. Maria has never been harmed.
That's a lie.
Maria
That's
and
a
I
lie.
used to be friends. Maria destroyed our friendship.
and let
Go
me
ahead.
be clear. Let me be clear here, because this woman just sat here and spoke about how she's not going to talk about or bring the other family
Wizard,
members in.
do not
she's
be
doing
on other
now-
channels and be kind to me and come up here and throw me under the bus.
You throw yourself under the bus. So then she turns around, and instead of talking about the family, she starts bringing all these other people in that none of us have ever heard about.
Jack
The
just
fuck is-
asked me to bring their names up. What are you?
What
are
the
you
fuck is
talking-
your problem? Why
was
is it even
harmed.
any of your business?
Why
Well,
is
You're
it
the
any
one
of your
living in
business,
such great.
Wizard?
Hold on.
You're
Hold
the
on.
one living in
Hey.
such great fear. Hold
Hold
on.
on.
Yeah, you're the one living in such great fear when you don't
I'm
even
not in
have
fear.
when you don't even have a valid relationship with Jack. You are at the paramount
I
point
don't
now
want
that
a relationship
you are
with Jack.
stalking. You are stalking.
Yep.
So are you.
No.
What's the
Hey,
difference?
Margot, what difference makes is you are
What
absolutely.
would you do if you had? a
Although I
stroke
have
this
to let you
afternoon?
off that hook, Margot, because
What would
Jack,
you do
again,
if
it's
you had
just
a
like
stroke this
snafu.
afternoon?
You have the
What would
option
you
to
do
have
if
her
you
up
had
or
a
not.
stroke this afternoon? What would you do if you had a stroke this afternoon, Jack? That was why I came up. Let's talk about why I came up.
Well, I'd probably celebrate the escape from your fucking bitterness.
Okay.
I mean, and joyfully greet and celebrate what can I know about God now that I'm on the other side.
Okay.
Okay, so Margot, now back to you. Rather than your demands upon me, now that I've answered your question, it appears like I answered it adequately. Can we come back to you and your behavior? May I have your permission for that?
You can ask me questions and I'll decide if I'd like to answer them or not.
Well, Margot, it's not just me, but several other people online have been trying to point out to you that, hey, maybe what you're doing isn't right. You've been so fixated on me, yet you claim to be free. Margot, honesty is a part of recovery. Humility is a part of honesty.
Did you have a question? Because I don't need your lecture.
Well, okay, you're right. What would be the best question for me to ask so that you can see your behavior has not been appropriate with me?
You asked me what I think you should ask me.
Well, I'm kind of asking the universe, asking God, asking the moment. Because, Margot, I never know exactly what to do or how to communicate with people. But the fact that you've taken it on yourself to try and defend my son and others from me.
Absolutely.
Well, Margot, the reality is I'm a very kind man. I'm actually a very loving father. That's the reality, Margot. See, you've been searching for all sorts of evidence to prove me wrong.
I don't have to prove anything, Jack.
Well, I'm asking you to accept.
Again, then why are you even
Real.
here?
Well, here, we're God brought us all here. We don't need to attack, and I don't want to punish, but
No,
Margot,
Wizard's fine. Wizard can ask questions, Jack. Don't get in between Wizard
he
and I.
wants
Wizard and I are fine.
he wants you to be accountable for your behavior and your
I am
choice.
accountable for my behavior, Jack.
So
Again,
you
then,
say.
if you have nothing to prove, then why are you here? Because it seems like you're trying to prove something.
Wizard, Jack
Over and
asked me to come
over.
up. Jack asked me to come up on his panel.
I said out, up, or out, because your nonsense attacks from the chat, they're not doing anything. You're just showing you're worthless and cowardice. So at least I'll give you credit, Margot. You joined. But your determination to continue to prove me wrong, prove yourself right, Margot,
Yes.
I encourage you to maybe later, if not today, then soon, to pray to God and ask God, did I get something wrong? And
Jack,
please,
I will decide how I speak with my God. I don't need your help.
right, you don't have to accept anything I offer. You don't even have to consider to listen for the value. You don't have to.
Okay, then end your sentence there because you want to tell me what to do.
Margot,
Stop.
I don't want to tell you what to do. That's not true.
Then why did you want me up on your panel, Jack?
I want you to see your behavior for how it is.
I want you to see your behavior for how it is. You lie, Jack.
Keith, Muhammad, you guys are both here, part of this experience with me. I'm
You
seeking
lie, Jack.
an
You know
honest
how you treat
witness.
Maria.
Let's be here in the present, Margot.
You asked me who you've harmed. You
Okay,
treated
but
Maria horribly.
So you claim.
No.
So, Margot, your argument and disagreement.
Are you saying you did not treat Maria horribly?
Yes, I'm saying I did not treat Maria horribly.
Then I am out of here because you are absolutely lying.
Okay, see, and so there you go with your arrogant excuses. Holy shit. You see what I've been trying to deal with? Now, yeah, many people just say, Jack, it's your fault. Why don't you walk away? Why don't you just push her away? She has bragged about what she has been doing in front of others. My goal is to help the community I live in. My goal is to try to help my son understand that his father is not someone that he needs to be afraid of. I imagine that's what God really wanted from the Christians. I mean, imagine that. Consider that the true followers of Christ are gentle, kind, supportive. They're blessings to one another. They don't fight and battle. And so, what if that was God's purpose for us all? What do I do? Here. Praise God.
Jack, can I run my crow bit again?
You're what, Bid?
You say up or out, but I say I'm up, and that's what gets me out.
Okay. I don't know.
Jack, are you going to show up on the 8th?
I intend to.
You know, whenever I start getting down the truth and you leave, that's going to be detrimental to your side.
I'll be committed to the experience.
Well, you're not right now.
I'm committed to every day, to every experience. It's the only way I want to
Except for
live
when
it.
you're not.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We all have exceptions.
And that varies from moment to moment because you trust your field.
I trust.
Now,
what
even
the moment
Snafu is coming at
affords.
you, and he forgets how many months he's spent going, "Hello, Mr. Talcott. You're truly the way. You're trying to help these people." Now he's trying to fucking bring people out of the woodwork to do what he does, which is a whole lot of nothing. But
We've never been
I
that way.
have a
I encourage them to call the
migraine from
United
this
Nations.
entire community.
You know, that is a good question. Why do I subject it to it?
Okay. So I think I know what you do. So I don't think you necessarily need a job, but you need like a professional, some kind of regular exercise, moving meditation, so you can be super sharp. Because I just watching how quickly the machine lies dispatches people compared to you today. Yeah, there's just like I get to see the difference in power. No offense, but I want you to bring you up so you can realize your dreams. So
I'm not sure I follow completely, but there is difference, certainly different energy and different response between how we each interact with each other. This is something, though, with human psychology, just the way that we are. I could say the same words as Hank or the machine lies. We could say the exact same thing, and yet different people would receive it different ways. Because of the messenger, because of the energies of the cadence, the tempo, whatever it is, there'd be a difference. Communicating with each other can be a challenge. I've been using my time here on these live stream panels. I'm proud of what I've been discovering about myself. I'm proud of what I have been learning. And I actually think, whether it's realized or not, we're influencing each other. And I see the good influence happening. And that's what tells me what I'm learning is true. It is our God that is doing it all. We are momentary, moment by moment by moment. How we feel does matter because it's another source of information. It's part of the experience. In the world we live in, people have learned how to live uncomfortably. They've learned how to suffer through discomfort as though it's just a normal way of being. Sickness is just a normal thing. The world is not as it seems. I mean, and I'll bring this up because it's a couple hours in, but and not to disrespect you guys on the panel either by my going on and on. For those who tune in late, sincerely, I encourage you, go back to the beginning and see where I start. Because I usually start with some inspirations and explanations of where I'm at and what's going on. Today, before the live stream, I experienced an observation of a new level of detachment. My life is so unbelievable. It's unbelievable to me that I get to live where I do, as I do, and continue to be ignored and rejected by so many. And then online, there's people who interact with me, but then they go around talking about me like they know me. And it's like, this shit is unreal, man. Chuck, he's another one. I can't tell if this is real or not. These characters are just so unbelievable. Yeah, Salty Siren, I knew this. I knew how my words would sound coming from my critics. However, think about it. The world is temporary. It's an illusion. It's albeit a very persistent and powerful illusion. Time is not real. And so if every moment of every day is unreal, align with that which is unreal. Because whatever we choose to be real becomes important. If you believe something happened in the past and that was important, well, that's real to you. And you can think all sorts of things are real and important to you. And then you can carry around the weight of the world on your shoulders. You can feel miserable and depressed and, there's no hope for the future. It's just darkness and destruction. We'll be lucky to survive if we do it all. If you think that is real, join me. Join me in the belief of the unreal. Okay? Personally, I think it is unreal that the United States is continuing the human atrocities that are happening all around the world. I think it's unbelievable that in Washington, D.C., these state citizens, public servants, they're playing the role. It is criminals enabling criminals. What Washington, D.C. and the Israeli state are doing is criminals enabling criminals. And let's go ahead and extend that into Ukraine as well. We've got criminals in D.C. enabling the violence and the evil of war against Russia, and we're escalating tensions against China. It's all egoic, selfish madness, what the world has become.
Yeah, so Jack, people are coming up against you because you were pulling the curtains up among their inability to communicate. But yes, but you're the tip of the spear in our defense of that. So I just want you to be sharper. I need my tips to be sharp.
Hey, thank you. Hank, it is. I am part of this. We are all a part of this. And Lizard Tree, you're not wrong. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry to disappoint those who care about me. And I was thinking about this earlier. I admit, I gamble with my reputation often by doing just what you're saying. I enable many. I enable many to abuse me over and over. And for those who care, I do apologize. I am allowing it. I am awake. I am aware. And I trust that our Father, the God of heavens, is in charge. I seek to be a humble vessel. And when people like Margot realize what they've been doing, attacking a good man, she's one of many. But see, I think in the greater picture, this is what, unfortunately, mankind has been doing with God. There's a lot of people who claim to be religious. They claim these titles and identities, and then they do a damn poor job of representing God. That was part of the topic with Tommy today. He's left, though. We've still got a couple of others. Snafu claims to be a Christian as well. Another very poor example. Snafu, do you care to show otherwise? Are you there, Snafu? I didn't warn you before bringing you up. All right. Well, take that as an appropriate later.
Thank you for your service, Officer Snaps.
Yes. Yes. Um, hey, Daisy, Sophie, May, yes. Well, here, I'm not sure where your mind is at regarding it's all evil. Because there's people like Stephen who have, and many others, that this is an evil hell realm. And you can find all of the evidence to show that. And if you want to believe that, that's what you're going to experience. And if you believe you're in a world that evil has all ultimate power, it sucks. The veil is being lifted, though, in many different ways. This is what I keep trying to share. More and more souls are coming to understand what is the truth. You are absolutely right. And it is, I've experienced this. That's part of my testimony. Through the grace of God, the progression of time and the things that happened in my life, it's all by the grace of God. But by the grace of God, my mind shifted. And I was able to view things and see things in my physical life that are different than I used to. And I went through, I had many veils of ignorance that I faced. I faced many different fears and many different levels of confusion. And at the same time, God allowed me to learn the blessings of surrender, of faith, and of true peace. You know, Margot, what do you think your role has been? You claim that, well, here, the veil of lies around Jack and the lies of harm, when the veils of confusion, you know, when that settles, I've been saying this a long time, people will see the truth of me. And Margot, you're claiming it's all me, but that is why Spokane, Washington leaves Jack alone. So you're speaking on behalf of the whole community. And Margot, what role have you played? See, you've helped ensure that to happen. You and Chemo testified his subversive actions, you know, him lying to the neighbors, telling them I'm squatting, I'm homeless, I'm a criminal. Margot, you and Snafu, praise God. This is the life we're living.
I'm wondering what are they going to do once you move away from them? Who are they going to go after now? If you just said, nah, I'm going to go to, what call Seattle or something. What are they going to do then? Or you just go to Las Vegas? Who are they going to hate?
I can't speak for Margot. I mean, she was a part of my physical experience, and that moved into the online. But people like Snafu and even Steven, I mean, they've got a reputation of coming after others. And so I figure as long as their attention is at me, then they're not, you know, maybe others aren't as well prepared or as stable to deal with the stuff.
Yeah.
So,
They could have an unlucky day and come after me or the machine lies, and it's going to be a really bad day for them. But they may go after softer targets too, so we have to protect them.
Margot, you're welcome to join again. I have one question. And if anyone else is willing to, how do I communicate better with Margot? How do I help her to understand that her disagreements with me, they're not actual. Most of them are unreal. She's just never allowed any sort of resolve. She's never considered the fact that she's been wrong about me. What do we do?
So I think that's a bad assumption. I think you communicate with her just fine. She just stuck in on her decision. She doesn't care about hearing any more information. So I think your communication's been fine.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to disagree, because I considered this earlier. This egoic nonsense that's happening on the panels, that's not communicating just fine. When people aren't even having the same conversations, they're just talking, it's like nonsense happening.
Yeah, yeah, but you're assuming that there's some kind of magic set of words that would completely flip them, and I don't believe. I'm not convinced that is those words exist. So
I'm not saying there's any specific words, but I know that there is a path. I've been successful in this on my own, right? In the streets, you meet someone who's having just a fucking psychotic fit. They're freaking out, screaming all sorts of stuff. If you can interrupt them, if you can get them to stop and look at what's happening in the present moment, so they detach from the insanity in their head, and then they've got a better chance of regaining composure and control of themselves. Margot hasn't been willing to look at herself or interrupt herself. And I think that's the path. What I'm talking about. We have the opportunity, genuinely, we actually have the opportunities to do interventions on people. I mean, it's a little more difficult because you don't have the physical energies with each other. But if you can get people to pay attention and to talk about subjects like adults, that's all it takes.
people have attempted to do interventions on me, but it never worked because I feel I'm always self-aware. I have my talking points. So she may be in that pattern.
You know, Hank, I know how this can sound, but it is what it is. I've met a lot of people who have done a lot of work on themselves. They're very self-aware. They've been working on things. I can help them see their blind spots. And I'm not saying that to be above any, because I'm sure, well, my blind spots keep getting shown to me. So I really think there's some opportunities. If we find ways to cooperate with each other, we each grow and we become a little better. We got the opportunity to collaborate and maybe do something real quick, real drastic, that could transform not only our lives, everyone who's involved, but maybe we can find a way to bring dramatic transformation for many people. It'd be a miracle.
Yes, I agree that the opportunity exists, but it's not in the town. But there's no guarantee that we can get there.
Correct. There's no guarantee of anything. There's no guarantee we make it through the day. I mean, that's the dead honest reality. Margot wants to play this hypothetical. Who are you going to call? Who's going to pay for your care? I don't know.
Ghostbusters? Who? Come on.
I mean, honestly, actually, I am kind of faced with something right now. My cat. He's getting kind of old, and then just the last couple of days, he hasn't been as by my side. And so I'm checking him out. I don't know what he's dealing with inside of him. How do you know when to go get someone else to look?
I kind of don't know for sure. I just had to eyeball and just see if I know anything. I had to trust my gut pretty much, and I'm not always right. So
You know, there's a thought within me, and I hope it's not true, but that's what I'm wondering. This guy's been around for a long time with me, and he's a hell of a personality. But I think he's just kind of, well, I know he's not feeling well today, and so he's stepped out to be comfortable. But I don't know. I didn't mean to take the conversation that way, but this is life. We're faced with things every day in our lives. It's not always easy to know what's the right thing to do. I shared this earlier today because I saw it on an Instagram thing. Advice from an old man. His advice was talk to God often. Talk to God daily. And I thought, you know what? Yep, that's what I came to. Talk to God. Even if you don't necessarily hear an answer or see an answer or find an answer, but establish within yourself a relationship with God that's close and caring. And that's where many people have found the image, the example of Jesus, Christ Jesus, as the father figure, the king to rule, to lead. Life is about how we feel. If we don't pay attention to how we feel, it will direct our thoughts into places that we may not necessarily want to go. And that's what happened in my life. I didn't realize this, but in the past, particularly when I was trying to escape with the drinking, I was in denial about how I felt. And how I felt was fucking miserable. But I wouldn't admit it to anyone. I put on this bullshit, this BS of, oh, I'm fine, I'm just tired. And meanwhile, I was driving myself nuts. Felt like nobody cared. And what I turned out to be is just what the Bible and many other examples show. If we don't pay attention to what's within us, it will destroy us. But you take that which is within you and you bring it out, and you can direct yourself, and you can see yourself creating a magnificent artistic expression, right? It's the idea is to take what's within, understand it, so that when you can understand what is within you, you have a much better job of being a positive influence in the world outside of you. The keys to success in this life, right? There's many different teachers and coaches and gurus and all of these. It all comes down to positive mindset. That's what it comes down to. If you think you can, you might. You think you can't, you'll find an excuse not to try. I think we can confront the criminals who are enabling the criminals. I think we can find a way to unite some good people together at this time of the world. Before November, before this continuation, the nonsense of wars and oppression and censorship and destruction, let's find a way to unite real soon. Talcott Tuesday. Let's make it happen, man.
I don't really have a way unless you give me a ring of power or a philosopher's stone or something. I don't really have any way. So, some got fold.
If it was going to happen, who do you think would be involved with the end of wars? If it did happen.
Probably no less than 5 different billionaires.
Some
I,
wealthy influence.
yes, wealthy, or the military industrial complex will find a way to travel to other dimensions, and they want to just get out of the business of selling weapons to do that. So,
Well, before we get to them, if wars were going to end, I expect the state leaders and the military leaders would be involved, right? Because they would direct the men and women to stand down, cease fire.
well, they. I don't trust them to get their directions through. They're just bureaucrats. I mean, after World War II ended, there was fighting for like a decade afterwards. So, I don't trust
Well,
them to actually end the wars.
dude, I've come across some incredible resources, some great documentaries. The history of America, pre-war, you know what? The history of America just since the Federal Reserve, 1913. Holy crap. The corruption and the evil that's been perpetuated by the people who are obeying, right? These employees of government, of CIA, of all of these operations, they are employees choosing to obey the orders and the directions of other people. And since World War II, history is clear. It's very easily verified. The U.S. government recruited Nazi engineers and scientists. They became a part of the United States government. And then there was all these studies paid for by taxes, right? Studies on what's called MK Ultra, the mind manipulation, studies of human behavior. It's all been funded and enabled. The wars will end when, well, there's many ways for it to happen, but I believe that the best way to protect the men and women on the battlefields and the civilians who are anywhere near the conflict zones, I think the best way is to get the heads of states and the military leaders who go to bed and sleep comfortably in their beds. Let's get their attention and order a stand down. And then as soon as we stand down, right, by that action, what that will show is the American people have gotten control of the American government. And when the American government is no longer enabling and funding the wars and atrocities around the world, that action alone will get the attention of the other billionaires and the ones who have been paying the way. We'll get them all involved into these conversations about immediate reform. I think it sounds good. What we can accomplish, though, God will allow us to see. This is the future I see us going to. We will. I know I'm not alone. There's many men and women like me doing things like this in different ways at different times. We will find a way to turn our weapons into garden tools. We will restore the earth together. Can you imagine how amazing that will be? Where we're working together to create less destruction, less pollution, less oppression. I mean, and when we stop focusing on fighting for control outside of our nations, when the people within America, Canada, the free world, when people start uniting, we're going to take control over the demons of corporations and governments. And then together with transparency, with communication, with willingness, we can totally transform. Wall Street can totally be different.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna be a party pooper. Why would they do that? Why would they just start uniting suddenly. I don't understand what's in it for them. And I know what's in it for them, but they're not wise enough, smart enough to understand why it's a good thing. They're gonna say, "Well, you shouldn't ask me to do stuff. I kind of like fighting, like Tommy is." So what?
Because the truth of their past choices and the consequences of their past choices, it'll no longer be hidden. And it's already, I mean, there's a lot of evidence holding people like the Sacklers responsible for the Sacklers, that family, all the people who obeyed and enabled them to create the opioid epidemic that's all around the world. Let's actually have some accountability. And so these people will want to change, knowing that they're not going to continue getting away with oppression, that we're not standing for it, and that if they don't want to change their ways and join us, well, I'm sure there's many others who are not as free of judgment as I am. But the path I am on is to help. And I encourage everyone, consider this. Let's encourage the whistleblowers to stand up, to come out. Let's help look out for what is right in this world so that we can confront all the stuff that's wrong. I believe this is our path, that God created us for this purpose, to realize there's a lot of darkness in the world, and by the grace of God, we're not in the midst of it. But if we want to, I believe this is God's plans for us all to unite beyond the religions, the divisions, the political divides, and create a world of prosperity for everyone. I could be wrong, though. I've been wrong a lot in my life. That's when I realized I don't have to fight about being right. I can be wrong as long as I'm honest, as long as I'm accurate. I do my best to be accurate and honest. That's the only things we have to worry about. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.
Okay, thank you, Jack.
Thank you, Hank. I'm wondering, I mean, the topic is my favorite topic, war and peace. And I hope to bring the perspective of war and peace into the spiritual light. Unified with Christ. No, this is the whole goal, you tell me. I don't know how I keep getting misunderstood. I'm suggesting people the way of Christ is the way we all want to live. But it's not based on the religion. I mean, if you think about the story of Jesus, honestly, this is how I feel. I'm a messenger for the truth of God. The truth
Yeah,
of God is love.
I got to agree with that, Jack, and I want to expound upon it in that Jesus searched the world for the answer, not even realizing before that time, never before that time did anybody profess that he was Jesus, the Messiah. He never professed that himself. He went around the world learning other cultures first. And that's why he was missing for those years between 12 and 30. He was out studying all of those different spiritualities from all the different cultures. So he wasn't just a Romanized, spiritual leader. He was bringing spirituality from around the world as he saw it through his firsthand experiences.
He was a gift. He was a gift for mankind, a gift of wisdom, a gift of grace, a gift that we can all appreciate especially if we understand it. And truly, the path we all want to take, we don't have the same background. We may not get access to the same education, the same teachers as other people. But what we can all do is grow in our own personal relationship with the truth of God, the truth of God's love. Because when I set them in early 2018, I've shared this part of my life. It's not a lie, and it is what it is. After a year and a half of sobriety and having a powerful shift in my mind, I got the idea. What if I spent the rest of my life trying to be more like Jesus? Less like Jack, right? Tried to become a greater man, more kind, less angry. Man, I got tested. I got tested many different times, many different ways. But if you simplify goals, if you simplify objectives with clear definitions, it becomes easier. So in my mind, I didn't expect for myself that I'd be able to heal people or walk on water or anything like that. But I knew that I could know better and be better. And so, who was Jesus? He was a man who walked the world a couple of thousand years ago, and our God, our Father that he spoke of, the powers and forces that bring us through creation, that God allowed him to know the answers. And so he went around to the synagogues, to the religious leaders from the background that he was raised in. He went to those like him to let them know, hey, these words you're saying, yeah, they're the right words, but there's deeper meanings. Now, as God started allowing me to learn from all of these different biblical scholars and stuff, I started realizing, holy shit, same thing applies to me. I could go into many of these churches and say, hey, you know, these words from John and Luke and Mark, yeah, the words from Paul, they don't quite mean what you're trying to share. You know, so I'm not alone. There's many people alive today who God has truly been blessing with wisdom, with gifts of intuition and vision, just deep connections. People are gifted. So I started wondering, why not? Why not accept that maybe I could become a part of the gifted? We all are. We are all very gifted with our talents, with our abilities. We have no clue who we might become or what we might accomplish, especially if we don't try. I set a goal to become a man more like Jesus. I encourage everyone to live with that idea, but simplify it. Be honest. Be faith-filled, right? Faith in God, faith in love, faith in the wisdom that you've been allowed to learn. And share that shit. Share the good stuff of life. I'm pretty sure that's what we're created to do. But the governments, the banking system, the religions, everything's overcomplicated it. So what if? What if there is a way? I mean, I don't know that I can or that we can convince the people in Congress to do more, right? To see if we can get Harris and Biden to be accountable for their words. They both claimed that they wanted the stuff in Israel to change, yet they're diplomats and advisors. They haven't been doing a very good job, it seems. So is anyone willing to or interested in trying to join me in my efforts? Let's find a way.
Well, I think one of the great solutions is in looking at ecology and trying to as somebody suggested in the chat, turn the weapons into the plowshares, so we could turn the efforts that are put towards the destructive efforts into fruitative gains. It's essentially possible because the same weapons that are created by the machines can be used to make something else. It's very possible that, and it's very possible too that those people who are now going around and easily killing people with the push of a button, using some machine, that they would not dare do the same thing walking around with a bunch of swords and knives. That they wouldn't dare do something like that.
Well, this gets back into the duality of mankind. There's a beast. There's a beast that's willing to war, to be violent. But there's also within the beast, there is a level of care, of compassion, where people justify going to war because they claim to care. But it's deception. And all of these acts of war, all of the lies and corruption. Hey, Nude Guru, I know you and I, we're close, we're very close, but there's still doubts with you that I haven't figured out. I don't want a ruler to begin with, that's for sure. What I suggest is that the truth is important and that the truth really matters. And if we allow the truth to be in control, ending wars is the only logical answer. So what I prefer people to do, and what I'm encouraging everyone to do, and I know you do as well, Nude Guru, is the self-realization. Encouraging everyone to become a self-ruler. But the reality is, for order to happen, there's hierarchy, there is systems that help enable the power to be properly dispersed. But we have a world of nonsense and insanity where, see, I'm really, really trying to find a way to help Paul see his behavior as well, just like Margot, just like Snafu, just like Tommy. Because the pride and arrogance that's being thrown around, you are so dishonest, Paul, and you don't even realize it. But you're not alone. And I unblocked you because I was hopeful. And actually, I think I saw that you may have unblocked me too. So one day, I mean, this is the life we're living, right? This life, is it real or is it unreal? And how do you know where the line is? I'm thinking maybe it's time to wrap up. We're nearing 3 hours. That's a good long stream for me. Thoughts or ideas? I'll sit back. Stephen, are you there? Fair enough. El Perro, you still there?
I am. And I'm just going to leave today with that regular, you know I love you, but I don't give a rat's ass whether you love me back. I don't give one damn if you don't like me. I don't give one damn if you don't respect me. Because in the end, I don't need your respect. I need to respect God. And I do that in everything I do, every breath I take. So may He bless you. Have a good day.
Thank you, brother. Blessings to you. How about you, my friend? What are your thoughts? Interesting day today. again.
Yeah, yeah, definitely an interesting experience, and I've been getting into my share of conflicts too. There'll be yet another exploration of conflict tonight, as me and my friend Mikey go head to head in a debate on the Bible. So there is more of those thoughts unraveling, but really I'm thankful for the disagreements, as long as they're genuine disagreements and not attempts to distract from the greater issues that are at play. And I like that whole thing. I've been reflecting on this ecological humanism here by Skolmowski, and about peace, because I really never appropriately put the question in my until Jack Talcott introduced me to the problem. So that's a good thing, that I'm actually critically thinking about this problem now, and the ecological side of things. And I'd like to read some things, because Skolmowski says that we need like a new technology in order to solve the problem, and I like his understanding. He says ecological humanism is based on articulation of the world at large. It sees the world not as a place for pillage and plunder, an arena for gladiators, but as a sanctuary in which we temporarily dwell, of which we must take the utmost care. It sees man not as an acquisitor and conquistador, but as a guardian and a steward. It sees knowledge not as an instrument for domination of nature, but ultimately as techniques for refinement of the soul. It sees values not in pecuniary equivalents, but in intrinsic terms, as a vehicle which contributes to a deeper understanding of people by people, and a deeper cohesion between people and the rest of creation. And it sees all these above mentioned elements as part of a new tactic for living. So that is some of what Skolmowski writes, and I think it's powerful. We need a new ethic, and we need new technology to deal with the current issues that we have, and we can all do this together as we unify our goals. But thank you guys for joining us. Blessings.
Hey, respect to you. That was beautiful. What, on your way out, who was that again?
That's Henrik Skolmowski, who wrote the
Skolmouth.
book. Yeah, who wrote the book Eco Philosophy, and I'll try to send
Beautiful.
you. Yeah, I'll send you tons of material by him. Thank you so much, Jack. Blessings.
Respect. Thank you. Eco philosophy. And those words, yes, what I heard from him offering there in those words is it will require a change in us, in the people, a change from the pecuniary, the financial focus. It'll take a change in values. Oh, there was something he offered and I think I lost it. These are the things I've been learning for myself. True freedom means breaking away from the worldly ways in order to realize, and here, take my testimony. I've got a lot I want to do. I'm going to go back to some of the things I mentioned in the beginning regarding a practice that might be helpful for you. But I want to come back to some of these comments because Nude Guru, like I said, we're so close. We're saying very similar things and pointing in very similar directions. But there, it is the advocation of statism that you see in my approach. Statism is the root of the disease. I agree. Statism is the root of the disease. I'm not advocating statism whatsoever. And as a matter of fact, the delegation of responsibility outwards to others instead of on us is the ideology behind statism. I agree. I'm not suggesting there's no culpability in the masses. As a matter of fact, I'm saying every single one of us. It's time for us to accept our responsibility in this world that we're living. Because if we don't confront the evil, if we just complain about the evil and we know about the evil, but we don't do anything about it, what are we doing? Okay. And I said this earlier in this stream regarding the evidence. And again, I'm going to tie this around to the video description in the bottom from Geopolitical Economy Report. I encourage you guys, check out his channel, his work. If you can help foster a conversation with him and I'm sure we're singing the same ideas, but this idea of the U.S. enabling and paying for the atrocities that are happening in Israel, the Washington, the D.C., that stateism, it's criminals enabling criminals. And so if the criminals in D.C. are enabling the criminals in Israel, what does that say about the American public? I said this before, so I'm saying it again. I'm not advocating the state. I'm advocating immediate reform, and we use the state. We use the people that are holding positions, paid positions in the state, and we help them do their job so that peace and diplomacy, transparency becomes the normal path for the future. Let's discuss war and peace. That was the goal today. I think we accomplished it. I know we had some interesting conversations with personalities, and we tried communicating with some patterns, egoic patterns. They're hard to give up. They're hard to identify. They're hard to go away until you let them go. Hey, brothers and sisters, I love all of you, and I love what this is becoming. If you or others who you know might be interested in connecting with a guy like me, reach out, right? I'm easily found, very accessible, easily reached. And for those who want conversations on God, on self-development, maybe you got some trauma, some things from the past, cobwebs, you'd like some support helping to overcome, I'm volunteering. And till next time. Peace is the way. May you walk with, and may the love, the faith, the peace, may the joy of Christ flow with you through the rest of your day. Invite others back, do the algorithm thing, and we'll see what happens in the future. Thank you again. Choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. God bless us all.